Keep Fear Games.
My wife's like, so she goes, how long do you use it? I said, well, we hope it's not like a UFC fight where we break the ship in the first 5 minutes.
Oh no, he's going with the ship.
Well, I figured the most practical part of all this is that, you know, if you guys capture the ship, then you can continue to use it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, yeah, as long as we
We'll
don't
see
blow it
how
up
that
or something.
goes.
Or conveniently, we just find another identical ship.
It has the exact same mermaid on the front.
I just found that last night. Somebody posted that. It's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah. That's what you were saying. So you just printed it last night and painted it?
Yeah, man, real quick.
That's great. There she is.
This is about time, man.
Did we leave you enough room?
Yes.
Alright, awesome.
It's just weird because, like, it felt so that the table was all screwed up and I was really thrown off.
It is.
Alright.
How are you doing?
Getting up tomorrow at like 5 a.m. to get ready to leave for Toronto.
Where you going?
The charity event like runs this weekend, like the stream. So we're running the art auction online right now. It's live on eBay. Yeah. And then it's this table again, isn't it? Oh, we're good. Okay. They're fine.
Well, good for you.
Okay, sorry. Hi.
So you have to go to Jersey though? Is that where the regular event is?
That guy got the camera position good too. Got her in the frame too.
We're gonna stop along the way. I've done that before. Yeah. I mean, I've done it back and forth with one shot, so like it's not.
It's stopping in Maryland.
If there's a way to angle,
Yeah, like
who's
it
on
makes
that
it.
camera, you guys? If there's a way to angle that one down a little bit, we'll get a little more advantage.
Do we really need more advantage? Do we?
There we go.
Perhaps.
The
Good or
corner
more?
of your face and the back of your head.
Sweet.
More? Less?
We can go more. Because, I mean, we've got, like,
We've got a lot of empty space
you got
right here.
plenty of space above their heads. There we go.
You see face. Better?
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Dang. 209.
Oh, 209 people.
Yes.
Hello.
Art
Welcome.
auction.
Good
Shop
start.
the art auction.
Yeah. Wait, are we live? Like, they can hear me talking about that?
You can hear you talk.
I think everything's logged on live. Yeah.
Live right now.
Fun times. Okay. Yeah, alright. People, the thing I was talking about this weekend is pitathon.com. It's pitathon.com, and it's to raise money for colorectal cancer. So do it. Check it out. Okay. Yeah.
Good. That's always
All right. So when last we left our hero,
That's it. Scribble messed up.
The end.
you had rescued the young woman from the hag coven, and there was one hag left who raced off.
Where's that?
There. She dove into the pond and swam upstream.
Wait, were we gonna chase her? Is that the deal?
Yes.
I got my hunter's mark.
Hunt her down.
Old Gloomy here is trying to track her down.
I was to collect as much hag goo as possible.
Do you have any containers to collect the hag goo?
I asked my friend here to use his bag of holding.
You're just gonna dump hag goo in the bag of holding?
What happened to putting it onto the slab?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna put on the slab.
And the slab is
My
gonna
shield.
chill it. Well, make hag ice.
Hag slushies.
Tons of hag.
I'm just trying to figure out how you would prevent hag goo from getting all over everything else in the bag of holding.
I'm gonna put on my shield first and freeze it. Be like a pop.
Interesting. Okay, we'll see how that works then.
You can do with that. I'm focusing on the hag.
So are you continuing to pursue the hag?
I'm not gonna run off by myself, but I've got my hunter's mark on her. I'm kind of tracking her down.
Alright, well,
Water piercing arrows.
Probably.
I just want to point out, like, those are the stairs we came down. That's how far we've gone. We got our butts handed.
Really? Not really.
There we go.
Yeah.
Some of you may be on 1 hit point. Not me,
I
though.
did really well.
Killed 2 hags though.
That's
2.5 hags.
2.5.
And almost killed the girl.
And then I saved the girl.
Almost killed the girl.
Did we really?
The person we're trying to save.
Pretty much. Cast a shatter right over there. So I'm pretty much almost killed.
Look, the girl was safe. That's what matters.
Yeah.
I gave her like 9 hit points, guys. More than she had.
Well,
That would have
I
been the
am
best case
at 1
scenario.
HP, so.
What?
I am at 1 HP, so Sal is not going anywhere near that head.
Nobody's gonna come over here, right? What's that?
We're not in combat, are we?
no?
If nobody's gonna help, then I'm just gonna shoot twice in that direction and see if I hit it.
Okay, you're just gonna fire off the water?
Yeah.
Alright.
If you,
I'm in the dark again,
if you
so
can
I'll
find a way to
shoot with
make
my invisibility.
if you can
Well,
find a way to
and
make
even
it like
out, so.
illuminated in some way.
My
that-
hunter's mark doesn't help with that.
No. But someone else's stuff might.
Can I cast fairy
It's
fire?
like she's already under. I can't even see her, so I'll have disadvantage anyway.
Where are you gonna cast fairy fire at?
The neck of the river.
The neck of the river? Alright.
10 HP.
Does she light up?
15 saving throw.
She does light up.
Then I can shoot at her.
But Sal's back in the
I
game.
can shoot at her normal.
I
Yeah.
obtain all the hag
Since I'm in
is
this
rightfully mine.
There's a glowing form under the water.
Yeah, there you go.
19 and a 22.
19 and 22?
Yeah.
You hit?
Okay.
This is a ridiculous start.
17.
17?
Yeah, 17 damage.
You killed the hag.
Don't worry about it, guys. I don't need any help after all.
Does this flow? Does your body?
And then her body slowly.
It does.
Well, slowly body.
It flows downstream into
Body
the bone.
becomes goo.
You can search her.
Yeah. What's left of her anyway?
Her clothes come back.
I imagine I didn't leave much of her behind.
Oh, I didn't put her miniature out there.
Okay.
But she's there.
She's there. Okay. Just making sure.
Go back to the river.
The woman that you have almost murdered, but she's there. Alright.
You better put your chicken out.
Yeah, yeah.
Whichever one you're putting in.
Right.
Just to clarify, we're talking about the pregnant woman that your cleric almost blew apart.
Oh, I understand.
With a
Potato, potato.
He could tell. He thought you were there.
She could have been anything.
If she hadn't rolled a 20 on her saving throw, she would have killed her.
It's fine. It's just like with the hag, everything's turning out great.
Almost died. No.
You have like
Nuggets hanging out. You're fine.
Popcorn nugget.
Popcorn nugget hangs out here. Checking out that hallway.
With the 13 armor class, it's pretty good.
Oh, she. More heavily. Yeah.
I'm a barbarian with range. When you go into a rage, it's best if you don't.
I'll grab my bolts out of her. Did anything important on her wash back upstream? Back downstream, I guess.
No, she doesn't seem to be. I mean, she has like a stick that she seems to use as a staff. She has a bunch of dirty clothing on.
Does the, can I make maybe like some sort of check?
Oh, so now you're gonna come over and help with the
Hey,
hat
hey,
situation.
hey! I was over there. Look at my mini. He's there.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
I got healed and I was like, yes,
I was the
I'm
MVP.
ready.
Now you want to talk.
I don't want to hear your stats. Okay, I was gonna ask if I could make an Arcana check to see if I can tell if the staff has any ability type stuff, if it might strike anything. But don't worry about it, because I rolled like less than a 10.
Okay.
Your Arcana is off today.
Yeah, I'm not feeling very magical.
20?
For our
For Arcana check, you believe the staff has some sort of magical property.
Grab it.
All right.
What you messing with that stick for?
And I'm going to bargain with help trying to get the hag.
Okay.
Okay. Get staff with it.
Yeah.
Oh man, you know what? If hers was magic, maybe those other ones are magic. You know who I bet would love to buy those magic sticks? My friend in Seaton. I bet he'd pay top dollar for those magic sticks.
I'd rather have
Well,
Can someone
we'll
say
see. If he's willing to pay top fire, I might do it.
He might even pay top fire. Those could be good matches.
Yeah, this is a stick from a bag. What could go wrong picking it up?
I love this.
Absolutely nothing.
They handled it fine.
I'm gonna
I think I'm just
take
gonna grab it
woman
with my bare
and
hands.
get the stats.
As we're arguing about stats,
Priorities.
we have this pregnant woman that we did kill.
We're adventurers. We don't care about.
She knows
We
her
did
place.
not
If she
kill her.
complains, he'll
We
shatter her
almost
again.
Whoa,
killed her.
whoa. No, sir,
You know.
no.
Skills off.
She wasn't
Stab
dead.
her.
She knows her place. Whoa.
The very traumatized young woman says, "Oh, thank you for saving me. I was terrified."
Flavor will kill your dog.
That's what we do.
And meat things.
She goes, "I don't know that I needed that big concussive blast."
You should have said you were a friend.
Listen, we just don't
You
have
were
to
acting
attack.
pretty suspicious there,
You're
running
acting
down
a
the
little
corridor.
The important thing is you're safe.
Important, we're all together.
Arguably safe.
Arguably.
I can't say the same about your dog. It's something else, right?
A jam.
You're welcome.
Is there anything else in this kind of cavernous area with the river that we can spot out and head out of here?
From this vantage point, you can see the bronze trap door from the room above. The one that
The hallway? No, wait.
came from the kitchen room.
Oh, gotcha.
It had the bucket hanging above it.
Yeah.
So at this point, you're convinced that that's a well.
And then we see this like drop. You see that over there?
See, I don't know that.
Oh yeah, the trap door that you guys triggered over here.
Whatever.
Oh,
you
yeah.
got.
I'm getting my rapier.
You're getting your rapier back.
Use one of your dancing lights and put it down there. See if you can see it
I'm gonna do
glinting.
all skills. I'm gonna jump in there.
Okay.
Is the water very deep?
At the deepest part of the pond in the middle is. I mean, you're a Triton, so you would probably, just by looking at it, you would guess it's probably about 8 feet deep in the middle.
I don't see anything down there. Right? Water or anything.
Not that you can see from here.
I think it's worth checking out. Last time I hit the water, I hit wisp.
I've kind of done what I wanted here. I shot the hag, saved the day. You know, all in a day's work for me.
We're gonna check out the rest of this place.
Yeah. I'm all about clearing our corners, you know. We gotta make a safe space.
No witnesses.
I'll take a quick swim. Do I see anything in the water?
You dive in the water?
Yeah.
These are find my rapier.
Everybody's gonna go.
You're gonna go find your rapier? Yeah. Yeah, you swim around long enough to you find your rapier. There's also a stone chest, very similar to the one you found in the other hag's lair, but this one's about like a third of the size, so probably only like.
Can I open it?
You're gonna open it under the water?
I'm gonna make some gestures.
I don't have to worry about running out of breath.
No.
There's a big paper
Can I
in there
lift
like
it?
the last one.
Make a strength check.
Can I help him?
You're getting your rapier. You're looking for a metal sword, not a stone chest.
16.
Alright, you lift it, and when you do, a hag's eye kind of floats up out of the stone chest and starts floating up towards the surface.
You need a bag.
Bag of holding.
Oh man, if only we had cold iron.
Yeah, and the eye is a tie. That was definitely not intended to be but it is.
So it comes out. So I open the chest and the eye comes out, or it comes out from underneath it?
It comes out of the chest because, you know, when you open it,
Yeah.
the chest floods with water and
And that's all that was in it was the eye.
We can sell it.
Stab it with your rapier and
Oh,
skewer it.
you know who pays top dollars for these things? My friend in C.
Yeah, you can
He
sell
bought
it
the
for
last one for like so much
Sell
gold.
an eye on a stab.
No, you need it intact for these kinds of things.
Yes, I don't do hag eyes. You want it? You're up.
Is it a cold
You
eye?
stab it? Alright, so you shish kebab the hag's eye.
I'm gonna keep it on there.
You keep it on there.
Just in case.
Okay.
Probably could have just put it in my bag of holding and it would have been fine.
I'll put it. You want to put it in the bag?
You already stabbed it. I don't know what to do.
It still works.
I don't think it still works.
Is it like the eye from? Did you?
They can
Last
see
Night
through
or
it.
whatever?
And stuff.
It's actually in the monster manual. But yeah,
Yeah.
the way they describe it in the monster manual is just like the hag's eye from
That's not going in my bag. There's already enough goo in my bag already. I don't need a eye goo in here.
I'm telling you, you were gone for that one time, and Sal just.
It's like crazy. It's all part of the deal. Yeah.
Well,
You find your rapier? Does he find it?
Yeah, it doesn't take them long to find it.
Well, that solves this mystery. And I'll start walking back this way. I don't have anything else to do over there.
Alright, well as you're walking back, the tiefling and the barbarian who are closest to the back of the group, they hear a soft female voice kind of echo through the caverns.
or Chuck's like, not more. What's the voice say?
Want to make a perception check to see if you can make out what the voice is saying?
What about it?
Alright.
That's a nice 4.
Nice 4, yeah.
Does Chuck hear it?
Yeah, is Chuck here?
Chuck can start moving that direction if he wants to.
Okay. That must be the day before.
Yeah, I'm gonna move.
Do you hear it with your cat ears?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hear with my cat ears. That's a 18.
Alright. The cat's able to make it out.
I got those cat
If you guys make me walk all the way over there to hear it, it's not going to be good.
Alright, we'll move Sal and the Tabaxi like 10 feet close. Not Sal, I'm sorry, Chuck and the Tabaxi about 10 feet closer.
No, that's me.
So we can die.
So, did Nugget hear this?
Kid
Like,
Nugget?
she's literally standing right in the, yeah, like right there. Like
Nugget could probably hear it, but she doesn't speak common, so she wouldn't know what they're saying.
No, but she could feed it to me via psychic connection, right?
If you connect with it,
Yeah.
just remember when you connect with your familiar, your body is just sitting still.
Is that how that works? Okay. Well,
And if it's
that's
psychic, you're affected.
Sal's gonna. Okay. Sal's gonna not connect.
It's very much like warging in Game of Thrones. You know?
Okay.
If your eyes roll back in your head and you're just kind of dazed.
Wow, I played that wrong. Okay. I played like 3 Rangers and never listened to that.
You had familiars with Rangers?
Yeah. So you can have like a beast similar and have that same connection. Like you can
setup. We kill 1, 2, 3.
The hag lore is now changed. It is
So we either
changed.
kill. So if we kill an auntie, was the big one, we have one more sister to kill. Because it's an auntie and 2 sisters, or do you see 3 sisters?
We killed, so it's an auntie and 3 sisters, and it's we killed an auntie and a sister.
To make
well,
that
now we
2
killed
now.
2 sisters.
Yes. We'll
So this will
update
be the
kill
third
count.
sister.
The other sister
So there's one more hag.
is MIA.
We could probably handle that. Probably.
If there's another auntie, then that means there would be yet another auntie and a granny. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, that's true.
You have dark vision,
Where it's
right?
coming from.
I do have dark vision.
Yeah, they're
All right.
sisters too.
So, about 20 feet from the tabaxi is a small humanoid shape that is walking.
Shoot it.
You can see the silhouette of this like child-sized figure walking towards you.
Chuck shoots it.
Shoot the child.
Can I do a perception
Does Chuck have dark vision?
to see if they smell
Kill the
like
child.
the hag?
Did Chuck shoot at it?
Chuck doesn't have dark vision. Is it dark or can he see it?
It's dark. Chuck can't see it. 9?
Does they smell like a hag?
I mean, not any more than the whole rest of this place smells like it.
Oh, right.
Cool.
The rest of the party.
There's a lot of different hag smells that kind of compete for your ability to detect things.
Especially all the goo.
Can
Yeah.
you read its lips? Is it the thing saying sister?
Can I cast Thor and try to pull it close to
Hurt the child.
You can.
Kill the child.
What's the range on Cornwood? Cornwood?
You're just gonna treat the kid like the older. It's like, come to me.
You're trying to drag it towards you?
Yeah, I'm gonna try
Chuck backs up.
You feel something wrong with the air.
I'll give you some space.
Closer. So whenever he comes in, I want to wipe.
Luke's getting Tristan down there, so
I thought I had it saved.
he's down further.
I think it's 15 feet. It might be 20 up here. It's been a while since I.
I'm just gonna cast light, but then I'll screw it as always.
Oh, you could cast it over there.
Yeah.
Be behind our swashbuckler.
I'm just here to defend my daughter. Have you know? I'm not one of the beat the child.
It's 30. Yeah, so it's
I'm all about
definitely in range
all
of
about
your
the
thorn whip.
forests and the sneaking.
Okay, I'm going.
Chuck readies his bow. He's scared.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Arm Whip.
You hit it. 13. Roll your damage on your thorn whip, which is D8.
Do as much damage as possible. Don't go back and hurt the child.
Alright, you hear the sound of something cracking as you pull it towards you, and your dark vision allows you to tell that you have just severed this thing across the waist, and you're pulling the torso towards you.
Does it turn into goo?
Whoa!
Does it turn into goo? Does it turn into goo? That's how we can tell.
You're not close enough to tell if it turns into goo. No, as the thorn whip delivers this thing into your arms, you're now holding the torso, head, and arms of a life-size doll.
This guy we just picked out of a crate killed a child.
I got him by the head, like my front claw maybe in the head. Guys, it's not real. I shake it.
It could still be alive. It's a doll.
Sal's gonna have nightmares about this movie.
I see.
Is its name Annabelle?
It's not real.
So Eubaxi's shaking the head, the skull by the head, saying it's not real, and its eyes are glowing red, and it says, "You aren't my sisters."
That's not good.
There goes the element of surprise.
Not good.
You are missing half of your body.
Take it this this way. Throw it in the chest underwater.
Flesh wound.
You were prepared to make an attack against anything she pulled towards you. Are you
Yeah,
gonna,
I'm not doing
Are you
it.
gonna
It's
attack
already
at all?
it's already messed up.
Hurt the child.
You should melee weapon just like that. Like a T-ball.
It wasn't a living fashion.
Why do I need...
Chuck shoots
It's
it.
a doll.
Chuck shoots it. Does he hit it?
Yeah.
All right, so Chuck shoots it right between the eyes, and the red lights in its eyes dim.
Can I throw my rapier at it?
The lights fade out, and you no longer hear a voice coming through the doll.
Just to make sure I'm gonna throw my rapier at it.
All right, you're gonna throw your rapier at it. All right, roll to make sure you don't hit the backseat.
Okay. I won't. 26.
All right, yeah. So she's holding this doll by the head, and now there's a crossbow bolt and a rapier stuck in it.
Demons.
So what's it look like?
It looks like a lifelike child doll.
That's creepy.
It's like Annabelle.
Yeah.
Or what was the thing in the 80s? My Buddy? Remember those?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
Chucky.
Yeah.
That could have been a priceless heirloom. I bet certain people in some places might have paid top dollar for that kind of thing.
We
still
have
know the
guy?
I might have known somebody.
I know mending. We can fix it.
I think the halfling had a torch at one point. No. Tim didn't have a torch?
There's not any like torches or walls gone. I don't have torches.
No, the hags can see in the dark.
What do you want? I'll cast dancing
Oh, I
lights.
want to light that doll on fire. They can see through, or the hag, or the witch. Yeah, but we did.
I still say we should throw it in that chest underwater.
We can fix it. We can fix it. We can sell it.
No, I would really like it to not be around everyone.
We
Like
can sell
ever.
a lot of top dollar.
I kind of look at you guys and I'm like, it's mine though. I got it.
You
She obtained it from the darkness.
should dispose of it.
You have something to put it in?
Can I crush the head in my hand?
That's like a psychopath.
No, you can just crush it.
I just crushed it.
Child doll.
Cool. So I'm gonna just start.
It's just a doll.
No, it is not. Because it's all half the head.
I'm glad it's not a child.
Weight than the bottom end.
Which way are we going?
Here, give me the little
It's just a bad situation.
Bye,
all
Pinocchio.
around.
We never loved you.
That's cool.
You're a druid. Make an arcana check.
I can help you. Can I help her? Sure.
Well, I'm a negative one Arcana.
You might want to run it. She has negative one.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm gonna
I'll make her.
make the Arcana check.
All right, so Sal is convinced, like you just said, that this was something that a hag was able to look through. So there's at least one more hag somewhere that has now seen all of you.
Okay. Great.
Well, yeah, maybe not him.
Is there any way to kind of, or first engineer the magic to see where it came from? Like, can you like a track it of some kind?
Will we cast some light on you so you don't feel like left out?
No, they're okay. They're not my type.
Charge. I'm just
What did you get on your arcana check at 24?
22.
Yeah. It would be a rather creative use, but you think you might be able, if you could find someone who had like a find person spell,
Okay.
whoever was looking through this hag, or whoever was looking through the doll, must have interacted with it at some point.
Okay.
And so casting a find, or locate person, or whatever that spell's called.
The best I've got is a hunter's mark for detect magic.
I have Skyrite.
Okay. Well, I don't think any of us have it. I kind of turned to the party and I'm like, does anyone have the ability to find a person using magical means?
Locate object.
You do?
Only if I shoot them one time.
gone to see to make more deals.
Alright.
We'll just have to fix that.
Alright, onward.
Yeah.
Charge.
Yeah, wait, did you really want to be in front?
Yes.
Yeah?
Can you
Okay.
see the dark?
No.
Out behind
I'm
What do
not
you
that
carry?
bright.
What do you carry? What do you use for weapons?
I got a mole. It's 2 to 6 again.
I cast light on your mole.
Okay, whatever.
The druid brings up a good point.
Hey guys, you just gonna leave her here?
Yeah.
Yes.
How? Maybe go take her home.
Yeah, after we know that everybody here is
We're not
dead.
putting the daughter in the
Put the daughter in the front. The hag will kill the daughter to make the daughter to be popular.
The daughter's gonna stay in the back and so will I.
True.
No one can
I don't
kill
think she'll fit.
Okay, did anyone ask her what her name was?
I got glue in there, man. She'll get
I'm gonna
disintegrated.
assume that nobody did, so I'm gonna turn to the girl and say, "Are you?" Okay.
Yeah,
Here-
well, what's your
here-
dog's name?
How do you know my name?
That's actually a very
Yeah,
good
what's your
question.
dog's name?
What is your son?
Don't give away the whole plan.
Ah, yes. And,
Lucky guess.
and,
What else can you ask her?
what led you to be in this predicament with these witches?
Well,
She was pregnant, but why? How?
How? Sal, do we need to have the talk in this
No,
dungeon here?
I mean, how did she get herself knocked out? As in, what situation did she get herself into that this occurred? Sick and horrible. You should.
Sal, did you not take sex ed?
Listen, Sal was a very lonely, lonely man. He has never experienced real love. Okay, you just back off, Sal.
Gary didn't have to go to a pumpkin field.
Gary didn't have to talk with you?
Gary, are you kidding me? I'm lucky Gary said 3 words. We probably use sign language. Most of our communication was through words.
It's great.
Like how?
So there were grunts, but it wasn't love, is what you're saying.
He took care of me as best he could, which was tolerating me and not letting me die. You know?
She just starts crying at mention of how she got pregnant.
Look what you've done.
You hurt her feelings.
No.
Oh, how
no.
insensitive.
You got yourself in this situation. You need to explain to us why we should
I think you need to back off a bit.
No.
We just killed her.
We did. She was only mostly dead.
Conversely, we also saved her
Sal, I
life
don't think
Yeah,
two
saved-
times.
I
Sal, I don't
saved
think
her
you ever
life.
need to go in town again. You changed.
Listen, I've got a. Alright, that's it. I'm making a charisma check. I want to see if I can persuade her.
I think
No,
she,
intimidate her.
I think she
Telling
needs.
me everything.
How did you get the attention of the hag? I think that's
No,
what she
we
needs.
know how she
Yeah,
got
why-
the attention of the hag.
you know why.
She got knocked up. Okay. That's a 23.
She's still crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So between heavy sobs, she stammers out, "It was Lord Kavanaugh."
I just want to see. Oh, my autocard changed it to Lord Cameron.
Maybe it was Camber.
Well, we'll go Kavanaugh. Okay. What do you mean it was Lord Kavanaugh? Were you in a relationship with this man? Was this an unwilling situation?
It's a G-rated stream.
Is he a hag?
You need to stop.
No, no.
This is
no.
a fun place. and you need to
Sal,
stop.
Sal is concerned about whether or not he can trust this woman. And on top of that, she just like ran off on her dad, who seems to be a pretty solid guy.
We aren't here to trust her. We're here to get free alcohol.
And you see, again, between her sobs, she says, "I didn't run from my dad. I went to the city to find a job, and I thought he loved me."
I say to her, there. I understand what it's like to want to be loved.
Kind of shake my head at her from the back, but I'm invisible, so it is entirely useless.
I'm gonna just say shame. Shame.
Love is a fickle thing. You gotta choose your partner.
I also asked her, like, you know, if she has a place in the city she wants to be returned to, or if she's okay with us taking her directly to her father, who is extremely worried about her.
Take me home to my dad and my sister.
The lady, we will definitely get you home after we kill her hag.
Did she have a sister?
Does she say
Yeah, she's
Oh, okay. That checks out then.
how many people were with her?
Does she say how many people?
Yeah.
You mean down here?
Yeah.
She says, well, they were the three hags and that creepy doll, and then there's the weird things that the hags call children.
Can you describe those children?
I think they used to be gnomes.
Oh,
Interesting.
okay, so I kind of like.
We got it hurt.
Okay, and I'm the bad guy here.
You nearly blew up a pregnant woman.
I did not. That was not me. Why am I getting the flag for that?
That was the
That was our
priest who
cleric.
blew up the pregnant
I
one.
can't believe
That
Sal
was our
almost
holy
blew up
man.
more than
I'm sorry.
It's
Unbelievable.
just blame the outcast.
I can't believe
Everybody
Sal
else
gets
does.
the
That was my fault. I'm completely sorry.
Sal's just like that.
believe Sal
You need to deal with the devil. That's
I'm
Sal.
keeping it cheap. You're over here. How did you get pregnant?
I'm
Wow.
stroking her back.
It's not my fault. You're
Trying to
dirty
calm her
now.
down.
Please
Like a
explain me the
reasonable
seven
Sal
person.
just blew her up. Blew up the girl. That was all
I just
Sal.
couldn't know.
First Sal blew up coffins, then women. What's it
Sal's
gonna
about
be
to
next?
peace out. He's
What's
about
it
to
gonna
take this hot little pregnant lady and walk out of here.
Sal's just I
I'm the
got
only
fired
one trying
out,
to
so I'll burn
actively
it
help
anyway.
her.
Yeah, as all of you are arguing, the druid, the tabaxi, is comforting her, and she's kind of cuddled up in the tabaxi's arms. Like the exact opposite of what you're used to seeing, where like a cat sits in your lap, it's like a human sitting in the cat's lap.
Can I like groom her?
Sure.
Cool. I'm grooming her, and I'm just kind of like, I'm gonna take this one home. Like I'm gonna take her home. Do you guys want to come?
We do want to take her home, but our concern is that if we do not clear out the last hag in here, it will come back to haunt us.
Or it'll come back to her house and kill her.
But do we know it's in here?
Yes.
Yeah.
We might lose our free lifetime supply of beer.
We know it's in here, and our concern is that we need to kill this hag
More
and then
talking,
get her home
more
safely.
killing.
You gave him light and you wanted to
And
charge.
she's valuable to these witches, so it's not like they're gonna just kill her.
Guys, our dragonborn is
We lit the Dragonborn and he went on a walk.
I'm gonna check this way and kind of sneak around the back.
If you want, you can hang back with her. Stay to the back.
I'm more useful not being in the back though.
Yeah, but you're also her new BFF.
Can I think I'm a lion? Can she ride on my back?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna wild shape into a lion. I want her to ride my back.
Yes.
She like braids my mane. We're best buddies now. We're having a very good time.
Everything.
Yeah. Everybody loves cats.
I'm purring like very loudly.
that was theirs.
Does the Dragonborn see anything since he's all lit up now?
That's right. You cast light on the dragonborn.
Yeah, on his wall.
All right, so you have light cast on the back of your head there.
He's got 20 feet of bright light.
I'm very sure you said that camera.
Yeah, there.
No, I thought you said head.
Okay.
All right, so you're holding your big club like a giant flashlight.
Yeah.
The room you're in has got an old wooden table in the center of it, surrounded by chairs.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You're gonna crush the table.
Yeah.
All right.
Is there anything on it? No, I don't care.
There's some very dirty dishes on that table.
Are there any
All right, so the barbarian smashes the table. The echoes of cracked wood bounce down the corridors of the caverns.
I can't be good.
All right, and you go into that little side cavern.
Yeah, I want to check out the back so we don't get surprised.
All right.
Plus, there's light over there.
Do you want to let any
that
of us
doesn't fit
know
my-
so we can go with you maybe? Or
I don't need it.
And I use like keen smell since I'm blind. I
this odd smell that like several people, several creatures, maybe.
Yeah, in a particular direction.
Past the dragonborn.
I kind of like, I want to nudge the dragonborn with my head.
What kind of druid are you?
Moon.
Moon druid?
Yeah.
You can communicate with one person telepathically.
But I don't want it to be him.
No, you can do it any way you want. Anybody.
No, I don't want it to be him.
It's okay.
Understandable.
But I'm going to nudge him with my head.
You could tell one of us though that there's.
I'm going to tell somebody else.
Okay.
I thought you could do that because you were a halfling.
No, that's a moon druid.
That's a moon druid thing? I thought that was a ghostwise halfling.
Oh wait, yes. Never mind. You can't.
Cool. I'm going to still nudge him.
You nudge him
I just
forward.
keep on nudging him forward with my head. Like
The
how
lion
I
is
do.
nudging you forward.
Then I will
Yeah, I'm
follow
planning on going
with my shield
What?
and block his path backwards.
Why?
No retreat.
No retreat.
I don't plan on retreating at all.
Cool. I keep on nudging him.
Just in case.
I am so worried about the lion being in front of the pregnant lady on top.
It's the dragon in front, and then the lion, and then the pregnant lady.
Listen,
Yeah.
this is D&D.
You're
There's
right.
dead
What
and then
could
there's
possibly
dead.
go wrong?
There's dead and then there's really good.
Alright,
I can also turn around and like do a running leap.
Awesome.
Does Chuck like feel anything weird since there's a passageway off to his side?
well, there's enough dim light coming from the Dragonborn's light. You can kind of see into that chamber. But the Gloomstalker sees in that corner chamber what can best be described as kind of a makeshift bedroom. There's like a big pile of blankets in the corner. And what looks like an old wardrobe. It kind of leans sideways.
There's too many suspicious things. What do you mean? Check one out. There are too many things to check out. There's a whole bunch of suspicious stuff in this room back here, you guys.
What Chuck sees in the middle room is very similar, except for a pile of blankets, it's a large pile of straw. And instead of a wardrobe, it's a wooden chest.
There's your chest. Chuck goes up with Mimic guy now.
We've kept him alive this long, and we're gonna have him eaten in a hang dungeon.
Better that than being an alcohol.
Chuck goes over and tries to open it.
The chest is locked.
Oh, yeah,
It's a lock.
Oh, Tim!
Yes.
There's a locked chest over here. So you can pick things.
Friend died to
Don't kill the girl while I'm gone.
perhaps.
Alright, so unlock a chest.
So much easier to
It'll be fine.
Isn't that a sleight of hand?
It would be Dex and proficiency.
Oh, Dex and proficiency.
Yeah, because it's technically just. Yeah, so you're good. You open the lock. Just so you know, you're proficient in thieves' tools. So that's how you get to add your proficiency bonus anytime you use thieves' tools. What stat goes with it depends on the type of lock. Right? So like if it was like a manual lock, probably dexterity. If it's like a puzzle lock, it would be intelligence. If it was like a combination lock and you're trying to listen to it, it'd be like wisdom for perception. So it can depend. It can be any stat depending on what type of lock. But you're always adding your proficiency bonus because you're proficient in these tools. Inside the chest, there are two packages that are wrapped up in brown paper and tied with white string. And there's a little name tag on it, on each one.
What kind of
Alright. I'll just access.
Is the paper like the one that we found the organ?
No, it's not like. It's more like brown paper. You know, like cheap wrapping paper.
The present.
Yeah, they look like presents. One says Mad May Mudwater, and the other one says Falu Ethel Frogwood.
Mad May what?
Mudwater.
And what's the other one?
Falu, F-A-L-U, Ethel Frogwood.
That's a feeling. Okay.
Oh, there are now.
Yes.
The one addressed to Mad May is like cylindrical and probably a foot tall. It looks like, I mean, you can kind of tell through the paper. It's probably like a large jar or a small barrel. It's heavy. And then
I'm gonna watch from around the corner in horror.
Absolutely, you should open it, Tim.
the other one, Ethel Frogworts, is a very small package, like hand size.
Could be jams.
I'll tell you what, I'll open the other.
I'm watching a double horror.
It's like an unboxing video.
Well, except it's not as pleasant as
The worst
And it
kind.
made an organ.
Which one do you want to open? Small one?
Jarkin barrel or small.
P.S. What happened when I took the witch's staff that we killed?
You're just holding the staff.
Right, nothing bad yet.
Nothing bad yet.
You have an attuned.
I'm okay with that.
All right, you open the small one. All right, you unfold the brown paper, and it's a little pouch, like a little leather pouch that's like pulled shut with drawstrings, almost like a small,
Like a mix bag?
like a small dice bag. Yeah.
I get to open two things.
The double unboxing.
Yeah.
Sure.
Oh, so
You open the little pouch.
they gave you a chance to save yourself. They gave you a chance.
Besides another pouch.
Inside the pouch is like some fine white sand.
Should touch it.
Lick it.
How are you breathing? Are you sniffing it in?
You have the best survival instinct.
You should touch it. You should lick it.
You should taste it.
Pour it all over yourself.
Just take a nice sand back.
Yeah, make sure your mouth is open when you do it.
I feel so loved.
Are you doing anything with the little bag of sand? Yeah, you can poke it. You can kind of poke around in it. How do you want to examine it?
Everything we described.
I wish it tasted.
All your senses.
Touch it. I want to hear it.
All right.
Maybe just linger near it and see if you feel anything before you touch it.
Oh,
You jiggle
Tim's
at the
not
bottom
like
of
that.
the bag.
He's going right into it.
That's fine. Yeah, you know what?
Did
Sid,
you open
do
the other one?
Do a filter
All right,
for
you
you.
stick your finger in the sand and it kind of tingles, and there's some sort of magical component to this sand.
Well, we're gonna take this for later inspection.
Alright.
Are you opening the?
Oh, yeah.
We'll ask someone that knows magic any better than this.
With reckless abandon.
All right, you tear open the package and you have a large jar of mud.
Okay.
You definitely want to put the sand.
I'm definitely. I want a facial, you know? Like,
You
I
want to put the
wanna-
mud and the sand together.
Sand mud facial.
Yeah. Get a
Very
little.
exfoliating.
Yes. Okay, I'm gonna open. I'm gonna unscrew the. It's like a screw top jar. Yeah, I'm gonna pickle the jar.
All right, so you twist off the lid of this jar,
Yeah.
and it smells like earthy, damp mud.
Can I feel anything coming off of it? Or
You can make an You can make an Arcana check if you want.
16.
You definitely get the sense that there's some sort of magical property to this mud.
Okay. I'm gonna close up this jar. I'm gonna stash it away for later.
All right.
Now I have a jar of magical mud.
Did you ever look at that ledger you found in the hag's hut? Wasn't there only one?
Oh yeah, I did.
If there's a ledger, he looked at it.
I have looked at it.
All right.
Chase,
Well,
you remember what it says?
well, if they read the names out loud, which I'm guessing you did since Sal wrote them down.
Yeah, which one? Whose present did I get? I'm assuming it was Mudwater.
Yeah, you had Mad Name Mudwater. You recognize both of those names from the ledger.
Then I'll just sort of tell them all that maybe these were meant for as a gift to other guys.
Well, they're gifts to us. They're ours. They get no gifts. We get the gifts. We're Santa.
No, we would be the children. Cool. We would not be Santa. We'd be the children. We're the children.
Look, I'm the pirate. This is how pirates is how it goes. We're Santa.
Mike, are you trotting forward anywhere? Or are you just walking?
You're probably here by now. I just want to find something to kill.
Alright, so the tiger and the dragonborn move through the next room. I'm sorry, the lion. This,
I think we should get to the rest of the
that particular room looks empty. If you're still following the scent of the creatures, it's coming back this way.
That's kind of my plan. I'm like,
You guys, Voodoo.
I'm gonna purchase place the ledger later.
How's our Flip Stalker doing?
Check it out. Has anything in that room changed since they fiddled around with the chest and all that? Have the sheet shifted any? Or
Wardrobe.
Nope.
As we get closer, I can send Megan out to inspect things.
that could have also been pulled into the wardrobe.
Are you still in that room over there?
I want to shoot the sheets before I leave. I'll just put a crossbow bolt into it
Alright.
before I walk out.
Nothing moves under the sheets.
Check the wardrobe.
I'm going to suggest
Wait,
with my
we can
hand
come back.
that she go fly.
You can't get me if you don't know what happened.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we'll find out what happens later. All right. Well, I'll trot after everybody then.
Alright. Well, the Dragonborn enters what appears to be another bedroom of sorts. This one also has a pile of sheets and some sort of wooden cabinet.
Is this one sideways? Is it tilted any?
No, this one seems to be fairly sound. It only has cabinets on the bottom. The top has shelves. So this looks like something that would be more in a kitchen versus like a wardrobe that would be in a bedroom. But it appears to be used for this bedroom because there are some folded clothes on the shelves.
Yeah, there's way too many
Can I
clothes.
search it?
You can search it.
I have to.
No. You find a bunch of stinky, smelly hag clothes on the shelves. Do you open the cabinet below?
Yes.
Alright. You find another package. This one is addressed to Black Fae Bone Chewer.
Come on. See if it's a bit weird. Sort of peek into it.
Alright. You unwrap it? Alright. You find what looks like a pan flute. It appears to be made out of bones.
You're a bard. You play it.
I can play that part. I'm gonna keep that for later.
All right, are you gonna play it?
Play it now. Oh, okay, I'll play it now.
I sure am glad I'm 2 rooms away from you guys.
Yeah, I'm gonna like back away if this is what's happening. Okay, good. Then that's fine. You do you.
I'm gonna back up a little bit too.
It's always good to have a friend at the party.
All right, so you start playing a little tune on the.
Can I roll for performance?
Yeah, give me a charisma check actually.
Are you proficient with
26.
26. Yeah, are you? Is that just straight charisma?
Oh, no, it'd be 24. I got 19 plus 5.
Okay. Are you proficient with a wind instrument?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So then it would be your proficiency bonus too. So, yeah, you roll quite well. And pretty much everybody notices a handful of rats kind of run past you towards the bard.
That's supposed to be
You're the rat whisperer now.
Yep, you catch a rat. As you play the flute, this little swarm of rats kind of comes from every corner of the caverns and gathers at your feet and kind of sits there as if they're awaiting instructions.
It's just goo. Oh, I'll tell.
Still living.
I'm gonna tell them to like go try and find the hag. Tag it.
Tell them to go find the hag.
Yes.
All right. They run off back the way you guys came.
Ah. Don't tell the rest of the party. I think the hag is behind us.
We still go forward.
I'm gonna follow the rats for once.
You're gonna follow the rats?
A little bit.
All right.
See what room they go to anyway.
Yeah. Wait. Oh man, this is probably a mistake. South kind of wants to see the
But Sal can't see in the
He's
dark.
invisible.
No, but. Can I see you?
Not me. But you can see in the dark because you're
Yeah, I have dark vision.
Oh, there you go. Then.
He can be invisible, but.
There's a hag.
Oh, it's fine.
That appeared.
And your magic rats that you just befriended seem to think the hag is not in the direction of your headed.
We're here for the hag. As soon as we kill the hag, I'm getting out of here.
I know that.
These rats stop in front of the girl and shoot her.
Again.
Again.
So you follow the rats?
I want to follow and see where they go to.
All right. Well, they run through the room that had the table in it.
Yeah. Oh, so they're here.
Yep, and into the bigger room where you guys fought the hags. Yep. And they all kind of gather around one of the pools of goo, or what's left of the pools of goo, and they're kind of like sniffing at it and pawing at it.
Underneath it.
That's the only hag they know.
Shoot the goo.
All right, you shoot the goo.
Collect the
Going
goo.
to ready.
I'll follow my rats. I'm not afraid. And I plus.
So, what, you're gonna run all the way back here now?
I want the goo. I don't want anything to mess it up.
Mike, you coming with us?
Yeah.
Good.
I don't think they know.
All right. So the rats just kind of move from puddle of goo to puddle of goo.
So much for the magic rats.
And then I'll play the flute again and ask them to find the gnome.
Ask them to find the gnomes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, when you start playing again, it seems to dispel the magic, so that the rats kind of scatter, and then by the time you have a few seconds into the song, they gather back up again.
I'll tell them to go find the gnome. The gnome.
All right. They run back the way they came.
I've had enough of this. I'm not following the rats. I'm going the other way. I'm gonna walk this way.
Yeah, he goes that way. I'm gonna go back the way we were supposed to be going.
All right. You headed that way.
There's a report that I see, which, I mean, it goes to the same room anyway, but I do want to know what
can both head into that big room.
Everybody? Is everybody going into the big room?
Sal, are you in the waiting room?
Oh, that's fine.
I'm gonna go with Nicola.
Oh, that's fine.
I'll be able to do it.
Along the back wall of the room is just a line of gnomes that are just kind of standing there mindlessly. Yep, they're just lined up across the back of all of the cavern. And they're all just kind of staring at you, kind of blankly.
They're playing the flute.
Yeah,
Behind the shield man.
she's creeped out by the gnomes.
Yeah, so I let her get off of me and I kind of to get
Sal's creeped out by the earth. Chuck's creeped out.
Can I try to like play the flute again, and this time towards the
Smacks this gnome.
He just walks up and smacks
smacks.
him.
What are you doing here?
All right, the gnome takes the smack and he reaches up and casts acid splash on you.
Oh, you're dead. Hate to see it happen.
Didn't like it.
Give me a what is that? Concept of acid splash? Oh, it's a dex save.
Doing that.
Is anybody within 5 feet of Chuck?
Two people.
Two people.
I don't know where Chuck is.
Chuck fails.
All right,
Oh yeah, it's
roll for Tristan as well, because.
Tristan got an at 20.
All right, so Tristan saves.
no.
Chuck takes 5 damage.
I'm gonna like try to play.
Oh, it didn't hit you.
Oh,
Yeah. It only hits 2 creatures. Yeah. So it's like it hits the target and then one creature within 5 feet.
Chuck's mad. He takes out the scimitar now.
I'm gonna play the flute at the gnome.
You're gonna play the flute at the gnomes?
Yes.
All right. The rats disband and then the rats come back together.
17.
17 to stab the gnome. All right, you kill the gnome.
You're doing nothing. Chuck, you drunkard. You just threw acid in my face. You also came to
kind of slapped him in the face first.
They would simple the court of law. They would.
Circle of life.
Harry Potter.
They're not in combat or no?
No, the other gnomes are just kind of standing there mindlessly.
Yeah, I'm not bothering with these. I'm gonna kill the hag. I don't know what your guys are doing, but I'm gonna go to the other room and try to find her. Y'all are.
Right.
This is kind of cool.
I feel like oh my god, I just
He killed one.
Yeah, there's 8 here, one's on the other side. Yeah.
I start going
Eleven. So use a perception check. They don't seem to be in their right mind. They're almost like they're mesmerized or under a spell or something.
They were actual people. They just murdered them.
I'm feeling the sleep idea.
Dang.
We're kind of killing the bar that we're getting supposedly unlimited free beer from is run by these
You
people.
gotta represent, you know.
At which point you guys hear like this loud snorting sound and then a growl.
I'm gonna tell the rats
From the
all
lions?
What's that?
From the lions?
Yes.
Not from the lion. You're going after it?
Yeah, I don't know where it is, but I'll try to hear it and find it. I'm gonna
Quick
say,
investigation check. Can I see any of them holding any other projectiles or stuff to throw in my face if I was to run up to one and try and slap it?
That's what I did. That's what I did.
Yeah, but I want to make sure that I'm not going to get asked.
No, but I'm saying I slapped one.
The acid splash was a cantrip. It was magic. The gnomes have little magical powers.
Oh, just kidding then. Alright, we're not going to slap. I thought maybe if I got a 14, I would. No, it's like a 16.
You roar at one?
Roar at one.
Alright. It shoots at you with a fireball.
Awesome.
y'all are just provoking these.
You take 7 fire damage.
Perfect.
Alright, move the Dragonborn down the hallway this way, because he was going to run towards the sound of the...
Oh no.
Well, they're doing that. I'm gonna tell the rats to go and find them.
It's like this is deja vu or something.
You recognize your old friend from the trash pit.
advantage.
All right.
You're gonna fight an Odio?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Don't go down that hallway.
Alright.
He went down last
All right,
week.
roll initiative.
Not that many.
He has enough HP.
Wow, I didn't know what to do. That's gonna be a 50.
All right, you go.
Make it good.
That's gonna be a 20.
You hit.
Take the opportunity attack and roughly hit you. You can't come and hit me. Not nearly enough.
So that'd be 8 damage.
You 8 damage to it? Yes. All right. It roars at you. At which point, is anybody else rolling initiative? Anybody else responding to the Dragonborn and this roaring thing that they hear?
I'm kind of checking this room here. I'm preoccupied with that.
I'm going to help this man.
I'm backing away from this situation with these creepy possessors.
I'm looking at my room.
All right. What's Tim doing?
He kind of walked in with death, too.
All right.
So,
So,
what if Chuck has some water? He tries to like splash him.
try to splash
I
to
seem to
them.
think I should
Yeah,
turn
like trying to wake him up.
Okay.
Tim's gonna go.
Are you rolling initiative? Sure. All right, roll initiative if you're going to do something. Okay. Well, before Tim acts, all the gnomes kind of like shake their head like they just got awakened, and they start walking towards the Otiug.
Like food?
No, they start throwing their cantrips at the Otiug, like Firebolt and Ray of Frost.
Just killed these good crusaders.
Just line them up.
Yeah, just line them up in the hallway. They're just throwing their little cantrip spells at the Otiug.
I'm glad I did.
They're all out here trying to save the world. We're here murdering.
This poor guy, he can't quite get there.
At which point the Otiug, almost as if it's been trained, crawls away from the Dragonborn and goes back into his garbage bin. And then the gnomes march back in and line up along the wall and stand there blank.
We just murdered a character.
That's why they shot you from the floor.
I'm gonna try to smash the garbage pits.
I think the druid knows, but she can't talk. He just asked what the heck's going on.
Oh, I guess I do now. But I can't.
Weirder has happened, but what it denied from.
I don't really feel like that. It's a lot of fun.
I think the Dragonborn is around.
Alright, so the trash monster just climbed back into the trash pit.
I'm going after
Alright.
Oh man.
Alright, I'll instantly like at the corner of that hallway, like before the overpass. A little closer there, a little bit more so I can see around the corner. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, are you going into the refuse pit or are you standing at the edge of the pit?
No, I was going in.
You're going into the garbage pit?
Smash on this.
Alright, so you just start swinging your club at this big pile of garbage.
Yeah.
Alright? Roll with a disadvantage because the thing is covered with garbage.
That's gonna be a 16.
You still hit it. So you just bash your club down and send feces and refuse and garbage in all directions, and it splashes into this like thick, gooey, like compost-like pile. And then the Otiug roars at you, and then it's gonna attack you.
Oh, what about the damage?
Oh yeah, give me your damage.
It is a demon. 10 cannot live.
10 damage?
No, 9 damage.
9 damage?
Hey,
Oh wow. I think it hits you with all 3 attacks.
What's an Odio have?
good night.
Yeah, it was
Long live the king.
Alright, so you he takes 10 damage from its bite, and I need a Constitution saving throw.
He goes down with 10 damage.
He's dead.
That's a
17. All right. He's raging. Raging, so you only take half of that. Right.
No, he goes
Still
down.
down?
And then he's attacked twice.
Oh, why are you charging into battle before it?
Because I
Why
wanted
didn't
to
you say
fight.
something? I already healed you.
I wanted to
No
fight.
time for talking.
I was kind of sitting around here and I was like, but let's look at this. Can we kill these hags and get this girl home?
And now you have 2 automatic death save fails.
Yeah, but you ran into kill it, not hag. Like,
Yeah.
All right, so
You've gone. You did it.
Yeah, you're dead.
so that was the
dead,
bite,
dead.
which drops you to 0, and then it hits you with both of its tentacles. So that's two failed death saves.
And then another 2. Each attack roll is down 2.
Yeah, so you're now in this thing's tentacles, in the trash pit.
So he got attacked once, and now he's out. He got attacked again. Now he gets attacked again.
Well, this thing's MO is it's going to slam you against the ground. It's basically just holding you up in the air in its tentacles right now.
Oh, so he's grappled.
Yeah, he's grappled by this thing,
And he's unconscious.
and he's unconscious.
So
they
you
shoot
have,
a firebolt at it to try and get
so you have 2 failed death saves now?
Each made an attack with his down his
You're going to shoot him with the firebolt? Right, roll to hit.
He's in the danger zone.
19.
Alright, you hit it. It's trained to not like magic, apparently. It backs up as soon as you hit it with a firebolt.
Does it let go of him?
Yeah, it drops him into the pit of garbage.
How high was it holding him? How tall is the old jug? And also, how long is its tentacles?
Oh, it's pretty high up in the air.
That is way more than 10 feet drop then, I suppose.
But the pile of trash is like kind of gooey and soft. It just kind of sinks down into this muck.
Yeah, but
It's a oozy muck. Can he breathe in the muck?
No.
He is suffocating in the muck.
Does the OTR retreat into the garbage pile again, like underneath, or is it just backing up?
He backed up to the wall and dropped the barbarian into the garbage pile.
Okay, I'm going to attempt to keep shooting him with firebolts and hold him back and drag our dumb dragon away.
I'll have to give it a
you
wait.
would have to jump down.
For every action.
And you can't, I don't think we can see him do really work.
He's in the muck.
Someone's going to have to go in the muck and drag him out of
I
there.
will be the man.
You're going in after him?
I'm the
Please
man.
don't. Please don't. No, no, no.
40.
No, no. Look, it may be a lost cause. Either we have to kill this thing
Never
from a
surrender.
distance.
Be able to do it, but I think this counts as
I think you're dragonborn and suicidal.
Yeah.
If we go in for,
Yeah, that's the other thing.
are we in
It's not
initiative to run in, or can I just run in?
I mean, you can all take an action before he dies, so.
Because I can't get far enough. I have to touch him in order to heal him, but I could jump in.
Can I see him?
No, he's down in the muck.
I'm checking out these boulders.
I can attempt to just keep hitting him with magic to keep the thing back if you want to try and go in the pit.
But nobody
Well,
can
take
take
an
How far
action
can
to
you
get
What's
over.
your movement?
Huh?
What's the range?
It
I
would just
can't
be your,
I use
All my movement to get here.
it'd be your movement to get there and your action to drag him out of the pit.
No,
No,
Odia couldn't
I
make it.
can't make it through that path either, and this is the same time.
Still, it's like a 50-50 chance he dies from the failed death.
Yeah, there is. There is.
I would attack if I
Oh, this is how far I can move with my movement. I don't need to dash.
Oh, you already used your movement to get there?
He was over here.
Wait, okay, I can do this now. If I unwild shape and put it back, I can double my movement speed,
Right.
and I will be able to move it extra.
Right.
So I could technically get there and use it.
You didn't even want to telepathically talk to him. How are you going to run into a trash bin with an Odia?
Well, you couldn't use
Also,
healing
you're
words if you can't
protected
see him. You
leading
got
I
in the
can't
muck.
see him.
But
I
you-
mean, I can get there.
But you can get there and use your action to drag him out of the muck.
But
How do
you're
I get in the muck though?
no. You're protecting the pregnant lady. That's your job.
Oh, right. I'm pregnant.
The pregnant lady's not even on the back anymore.
But she's like right here.
She's safe. She's safe.
She was hiding behind the barn until he ran away.
Now she's back to the lion.
And now she's
I'm out here trying to save
cowering
our
behind the
friend.
lion.
Well, someone else needs to protect the daughter so the cat can actually save the dragon.
The rogue can use his bonus action to dash. He can get there.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
All right, are you gonna run in there and try to drag him out of the pit?
Sure, why not?
All right. Give me a strength check.
You're gonna drag a dragonborn out of the pit. Should be good.
Good night.
You fall in the pit too.
That's a nice two.
He's gotta fall in the pit.
No, he does not.
All right, so the halfling is slowly sinking into the pit like quicksand.
Someone has to do something. I can't do anything.
All right,
Someone
I
has
have-
I'm making sure we don't get snuck up on.
I still have
You
50
can throw
feet
him
of
back.
I
You can't
have
take damage though.
If I could throw a healing potion at him, would healing potion seep through his wounds into his body?
Probably not.
So I can
All right,
run over
Tim,
there
I'm
and
gonna
thwart
throw you
him.
over.
He might die though.
He would die. He only has one save left.
I'm not going
I don't think it's magic.
I might as well front with everyone.
I'm the only one in the party
the
with
time.
everybody else used theirs in the mind, like your
I'm
first
gonna
adventure.
cast Distant Whispers on him.
You can cast Dissonant Whispers on the creature.
I'm trying to kill it real quick.
Alright.
My last spell slot for the day. Now or never.
Alright, it fails its save. Okay, it's still alive. It's like cowering in the back. It's like I said, it's scared of magic. It's been trained by the hags to be scared of
What's your
magic.
animal handle?
He already used his action.
Okay. I got my
What's your animal handle?
Well, I have animal friendship.
You could try to get the Odio to pull him out.
It's
an
I
abomination.
mean, you're a druid. You know it's not a beast. It's some sort of. It's an aberration.
I'm chilling over here protecting my newborn.
But I mean, you could try. You focus on your job.
I have a
I
job.
call this
I'm the
inventory.
only person that cares about this young woman.
What do you mean? Fighting a demon?
That has nothing to do with the
That was
pregnant
not
woman.
even to be
This
fun.
isn't part of the job description.
We need to clear it out. It could be a hag,
He's like a trash compactor.
but with 3 giant tentacles and a mouth for eating people.
I'm very sentimental to Oreos now.
Chuck has enough movement to get there.
Yeah, but he can't do it.
He could drag him out of the pit.
Chuck can get to that's 30 feet.
Yeah, Chuck can only get there. It's the same as yours.
Wherever he moves diagonal, you can get to there.
You could push the halfling into the pit and save the
Does
friend.
Chuck want to sacrifice
The
himself?
halfling in the
Yeah, the halfling's in the pit now.
Can Tristan get there? Tristan can't get there, right?
Chuck could get there and pull him out.
I can only do
Well,
one
who?
thing. I can pull my
Yes.
rapier.
One of them.
I can give you a painless death, my friend.
Might as well try and pull the
I wouldn't
dragon
sacrifice
out.
Chuck.
I can probably pull myself out.
Yeah, I mean, you're conscious. You can.
Yeah, I'm not the one dying.
Yeah, I mean, Chuck can always get himself out. So let's go over there and give it a try.
All right, give me a strength check to pull the dragonborn out.
13.
All right, you pull the dragonborn out.
And the halfling?
No, I can pull myself out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the halfling's about up to his chest right now.
Oh boy. Okay.
He's still breathing.
So how far do I pull him out?
Like into.
Does he get an opportunity attack?
So can I get to? So can I get? Can Tristan get to him now?
You have to roll higher death saves.
Yeah. I mean, he could reach him from that spot behind Chuck.
Well, if Tristan can get there, he'll cast Cure Wounds.
All right, so move Tristan up.
11 points.
All right, you've been healed.
If you jump in the pit again, when you're healed. I will just shatter you. And that's it. You will be dead.
Alright, you're still firing firebolt the whole time? Alright. Give me a strength check to get out of the pit.
Sure, it worked so well last time. So.
Yeah, I'm like throwing a life toe right now.
Alright, you're out.
Where was that last time?
I think we should just not have sight vision anymore. Clearly not going great.
Yeah, no, we're hitting it pretty good now.
Yeah, out of curiosity, would I be able to like actually keep, if it's scared, I would just keep throwing tantrums at it and chasing it in the corner and murdering it.
I mean, that could work. Of course, I mean, it is a living creature, so at some point you would think that maybe it would not want to die and come after you.
That's
Sorry, it doesn't say it down.
Not hurting anyone until somebody started hurting it.
Look at it.
It's adorable.
Well, though, it also can't get out of the room.
Yeah, it's,
No, it could squeeze through the hallway.
yeah, it just increases like your movement speed, so I can only move from 20.
So it could go out and eat the children.
I don't know. I came in there to kill it. I want to kill it.
You can kill it, just don't jump in the pit.
I don't know why all you guys ran in there to save him. I mean, honestly.
You call me? How dare you?
I don't know why. It's not like his character changes ever.
Somebody cast on him and
I'm
just
gonna
drag
make
his
both of
body
them say
out.
you both are commies.
I'm just using the subplot at this point.
I don't have anything left to tell. I can forward with
Shame.
I'm gonna yell at your dragonborn and try to persuade him to listen to us. And I say, listen, we just saved your life once. We won't do it again. This is a wasted fight. We need you against the hag.
If you want to make a wisdom check to.
Oh, no, that's not the thing. I thought that's
Well, technically, if she's trying to persuade you, it would be her charisma against your wisdom.
Oh, it's not that good. I'm not that smart. So.
All right. So, are you going to listen to her?
Well, of course I am.
Okay.
I'm not going to try that. It's crazy.
All right.
I'm not that smart.
All right. So, so you talk him out of it.
Alright.
All right.
I'm gonna throw my rapier at it.
Alright, I'm gonna guide the I'm gonna kind of like tell the party to come back this way.
I hope it eats your rapier.
Yeah, let's all like not go in there anymore.
Before I leave, I'm gonna throw my rapier at it. Little party.
You're going to throw your rapier at it?
And the party.
So now my question is,
roars.
where is this hag?
Oh, I'm hoping to hit it.
I don't know. You might be right.
Just a big pile of rocks. Looks like that cavern caved in at some point. You're a ranger, you would guess at least a few months ago.
The girls have been through like three hags here.
She only met 3 hags.
I only met 3 hags. And then like these things
There's nobody
and the
else.
little doll.
Yeah, apparently you're right.
I look very triumphant. I got my head held high and I'm just kind of like
Yeah.
as I walk back through.
The lion high
I
steps with its
I
tail
like
straight
thumbs
up.
up the lion. I'm like, yeah, you got good instincts, kitty.
Yeah, it's very much Lion King, but like the animated Lion King.
Alright, cool. I'm gonna just start walking out of here.
Alright, if anyone there messing around with the Odiog and stuff, I'm gonna shoot the other pile of clothes and see if anything happens with that one.
The other pile of
There's a
blankets.
pile of blankets and stuff in here.
Just a pile of blankets. You're guessing that's the hag's bed.
Yeah, well, that's good enough. It's not like they have actual beds in those rooms or anything.
I kind of want to know, like, what is the purpose of that thing? To be honest, like, what's
Eat trash.
Yeah, it's like a trash compactor.
Mostly people.
Alright, I vote to make the way back. I vote to take the daughter home because I want to stop smelling.
Yeah, let's go. Down.
I'm going to collect the
I'll just be like, hey, come check out this cool armoire I found.
Adam, as we kill the rest of us, we'll get you.
Oh,
I leave the
the
party.
thing I wish I could free the gnomes. I just don't know how.
People can do whatever they want.
One makes your fireball people, and
So does the armoire have like handles on the outside of it?
It does.
Okay, well, I want to tie like a rope around one of the handles and go sneak off like around the corner, give it a yank.
All right, you pull one of the doors of the wardrobe. You just pull the whole door off.
Ah.
And it kind of,
I never knew I was so strong.
and it kind of wobbles, and 2 packages spill out.
I watched them open their packages, so I'll go sweep them up and look at the tags on them.
Alright. Let's see here. So you find a small package, really, maybe a little bigger than that, that is addressed to Auntie Reba Rattle Candy.
Unfortunate name.
Package for Reba Rattle Candy. Not to me, I don't know her like that.
Auntie Reba Rattle Candy. And the other one is addressed to Old Agatha Bristlegums.
I got 2 of them.
Maybe it's a gun.
Yep, maybe it's that'd be good for me.
Really representation.
You can open those
The other ones
packages.
were okay. I'll
Got a
open
nice
them.
present
Now that
for you,
I've
Greg.
watched them.
God.
The ante is going to be
It's a flower.
Alright, which one do you open?
I'll open Rattle Candies first.
Alright, you unwrap it, and it's a long, slender tobacco pipe.
I'll give it a sniff. Do I know what kind of herbs are packed in it or anything?
It smells like it was used to smoke tobacco.
I'll be taking this with me for later. And I'll put that in my pocket. I don't know. I haven't opened it yet. Pop open the next one.
Alright, the other package looks like it's a long stick wrapped up.
A long stick.
When you unwrap it, it's a fancy black cane with a glass knob on the end that's carved like a crystal. Looks like something a noble would use.
I'm the resident noble here.
Not anymore.
Yes, I am.
I have a question. Not that I would know do, but I don't know what to read. But in general, somebody should see if all the handwriting looks the same on the
Yeah. I'm the one for lectures. I'll look at it.
I wouldn't know anything because I have no clue how to read.
You compare the handwriting, and it looks like there's 3 different types of handwriting. And in the ledger, you find all of these names in the ledger. And there's 7 other names in the ledger as well. All very similar, like hag-sounding names.
I'm gonna see if I can see this glass knob thing because I am a noble. What would it be used for? Like a conductor for?
No, it's like a walking stick, like a cane, like a dress cane, like the kind of cane you would wear with a nice, suit. If you were, going to the opera or a pimp.
We slide in the mud on the cane and then smoke it in the pipe.
And sprinkle the white
Smoke the
sand.
opium.
I have a question about the gnomes. If I was to just try to tug one away when it attacks, I'm not being violent for it.
Like if you just try to grab it by the hand,
Yeah.
it'll follow you.
Okay.
You got a follower.
We should hide it. I was just gonna say, we don't have any more. We actually lost it all. And
I have ropes.
You don't have
I have.
I have.
I have a
You don't have.
I took it from his bag. It was a silk rope.
I take 2 gnomes' hands and I put them together like they're holding hands and I see if they stay.
They stay.
I do that with all of them and I make a little gnome chain.
All right, you grab it. Say no, no.
You're not supposed to
Okay.
be guiding the children.
And I'm going to lead all of the gnomes out with us.
It's like you're the Pied Piper.
You probably should leave the dead one.
Alright, so you lead all the gnomes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll the dead one into the trash pit. I don't want to leave any evidence of our.
The Odiug eats it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Evil Odium, I'm gonna come and kill it.
We're gonna try with fireballs, won't we do the thing?
It is a demon. It deserves no sorrow.
Before we head out, then I'm gonna check underneath all the beds and make sure there's no one hiding there.
Should see if it fits that spell.
No one's hiding under the beds.
Well, I've done all I can do.
I'm saying we should all put the gift together and see if anything happens.
Because it's eating it.
Put them all together.
What's that?
You know who'd be able to tell us what these things are good for? My friend in season. I say we go see him after we go turn this in and drink a bunch of beer.
I like that so much. Yeah.
You alcoholics.
And some fries. Very tasty.
You'll have to move slowly to squeeze through all the order.
I'm leading out my party, you know?
Here we go. What time is it when we make our way back
I guess
up
I'll
to the
leave the
surface?
rats outside as well. We all got a train.
Yeah, we all have our new little friend.
We have the daughter, we have the gnomes, we have the rats. Please, let's leave.
All
Yeah, the
is equal.
We're getting out of here.
I'm a very stressed pirate.
Alright. Who's dressed like a druid?
Yes. Perfect disguise.
I actually, can we on the way back stop and see the druid? I want to see if he can undo the spell on the druid.
I never want to stop playing. I'm gonna gather all the rats in this world.
That's messed
Alright.
up, man.
Well, it's midday when you come out of the cave, or out of the the dungeon. As you come out, the bright afternoon sun glares down, and all the gnomes are squinting. The light is shining down, and almost as if like the sun is what wakes them out of their stupor. They kind of shake their heads and they squint, and they hold their hands up and they look all confused, and one of them pipes up and says, "Where are we?"
So I turn and I say to them, we saved you from the hags.
The nice old lady with the candy?
I can promise you she was not nice, nor was that just
Did
candy.
she promise you free candy?
She gave us candy.
Yes.
That's your first.
And that candy was evil candy.
Communist
What
candy.
day is it?
It made you work for free.
Well, that's a good question.
Is it still the first day of spring?
Definitely not. What year is it?
Winter.
It's autumn.
Okay, I'm like, definitely not. Yeah, so I said, no, you were bewitched by these horrible hags, and you've been here for months, but we have liberated you.
Well, that was awful nice of you.
We do our best.
One of the older looking ones is like counting heads and realizes that what happened to Thistlebottom?
Oh, Dopey? Yeah, he got eaten.
By what? A hag?
No, by the demon monster that you guys were bewitched to guard. He got too close.
We were guarding a monster.
Yeah, it was gross. It had a lot of teeth and tentacles, and he's not about that. No. Do not go back down. Whatever you do, do not go back down there. You will all die. Please come with us.
Also, probably don't eat any more candy from strangers.
Yeah.
Should probably throw that in there.
Not playing that guy. It's a valuable life lesson. Never eat candy from strangers.
Wow. What if they're good
Otherwise, you will be charmed by a hag and forced to work in her basement guarding her
and you
monster.
will turn communist and work for free?
And you might get eaten by a trash can.
Or get stabbed by a random passerby. And then you get disposed.
Walking in the gay direction, I have no clue where I am.
Oh, that's right. You were captured by the hag too.
This is not familiar to me at all.
Welcome to the
Pretty sure
overland.
Dennis, the deer, had something to do with it.
I see you on whispering and I go, come back. We'll lead you to food and safety with us. And we'll return this girl to her family.
Doing laps.
Do you understand what we're saying to you?
Not just doing laps.
Alright.
I'm not that smart. I'm lying.
No, in druid form, you keep your intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
I'm not that smart.
Even as a druid, you're not that smart.
Wow. That's why you got caught by the hag.
I'm that smart.
I say optimizing a class.
It's fine. I'll lead us back to the farm.
The difference is they both have -1 to intelligence, but she has a +4 to wisdom, and he has a +0 to wisdom.
That makes
So,
sense.
I have a lot of common sense.
I do not.
all right, so you're headed back to.
I'm gonna lead the way and take us back.
And I'm gonna bring all of these back.
All the little gnomes.
We're still gonna make some old hands.
Oh, absolutely.
And never get
And
lost.
they need to whistle. Duh.
The gnomes seem surprisingly cheerful for the fact that they, were bewitched by a hag and lost one of their friends.
Yeah, that's, I don't understand.
And they're looking on the right side of things.
I'm very cheered by these gnomes.
They have both their kidneys.
So you're headed to Timber Axe's house, the druid?
Not going to the. Is that the one?
He is on the way back to the farm. We're gonna go. We're gonna check in with him and let him know what progress we made. He's a druid too, so he may like it. I'm gonna go be stopped there.
All right, so you lead everybody back towards the druid's house. You travel for a few hours through the woods, and it's not long before you see the unusual patch of fog that doesn't seem to belong on a very sunny day. But you know that that patch of fog guards the druid's house. As you approach the patch of fog, the lion can smell a bear.
Yeah, I say, if you sense any other creatures nearby, particularly of the bear flavor, don't worry, he's our friend.
Can't speak our language.
No, I have no idea she can understand Chinese.
I'm still growling.
He makes the hand signs.
It's like a low, like, growl.
You and my dog. My dog barks when you tell him to stop, and then he just goes.
It's like, doesn't want to fully listen. He wants to keep going.
Yeah. All right, so it's not long before the Gloomstalker guides you through the fog, and you see the bear who appears to be eating a deer.
Yeah, I'm gonna like get between you and the bear, just in case.
Yeah, lions growl. You growl at the bear? Or?
Growl at the bear.
Okay.
That's Dennis. Was my friend.
Probably gonna eat him anyway.
The friend that turned you over to the hag.
Yeah. Was my friend.
Anybody's gonna eat that, it's gonna be you,
So as you approach the bear, he kind of shakes the deer in his teeth, at which point you see the deer fall limp, and it turns into a hag right before it turns into goo.
It's not Dennis. Dennis is not a hag.
That's probably the last one.
That's fine, man. What are you doing?
That's my goo. It's my property.
At which point, as the hag turns to goo, the bear wild shapes back into the Goliath, and he kind of spits to get the taste of hag out of his mouth. And he says, "I got one."
I like,
Yeah,
Three.
Three.
Well done.
Do the gnomes. I want the gnomes to clap.
The gnomes clap.
They have all their hands together.
No, they're not holding hands when they clap.
They high five with each other.
Look what we found.
Found the girl. No.
And a whole bunch of gnomes.
Excellent. That's great.
I turn to the gnomes and I say, do you know where you are right now?
Well, this looks like the forest that we grew up in.
Yeah, so then I turn to Timber and I'm like, I think they're going to need a place to stay.
You got a whole bar, don't they? I dropped in there on the way over here.
At one point, one of the gnomes says, I think we were in there a lot longer than a few months.
Yeah, I think so too.
They're like functional gnomes, and they accepted free candy from the strangers. But two and two together, they were kind of children.
Look, maybe they're just
Simple people, that's what.
Children, they got taught magic, which is pretty cool.
The old free puppies again.
So I look at Timber and I say, is there any way we can help these
He says, well, you can take them back to the brewery. That's where the rest of the gnomes are. A couple of the gnomes go, a brewery? Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you're
your
there.
home now. You guys live there.
Okay, yeah, I forgot their names.
Your grandchildren are probably running the place, so.
What's that?
Your grandchildren are probably running the place.
Alright.
So we high five Timber and we're like, yeah, good job killing that hag. And
Try to keep up, will you?
Kill a couple more. They're gonna come back to us.
There's 7 of you,
6.5.
but you,
Whoa.
the 6.5.
I would say 5.5.
No, even more than 6. 8.
Because you got Chuck, too.
It's true. Chuck's small.
Okay. Well, we killed 3 hags and half of a pregnant woman. Okay.
That's what.
He says, I don't think that means you win.
Some people. Depends on the person.
Alright.
The guy in C.
oh god.
Everybody knows. Are you talking about my friend? Everybody knows him.
No, I'm not sure that.
You do if you're anybody.
You seen a guy with a dog come through here?
Oh, yeah. He's real annoying.
You betcha.
Yeah. He's in the front yard.
Mowing his lawn. Bright and early.
Ned.
Oh, yeah, the dog's cool. That Ned guy, though.
You should have ate him.
No.
Some people think he's a hag too.
He's not.
Oh, Ned's not the father. Ned's his pirate friend.
You need him alive.
You have no idea the total I have just to keep him alive.
Yeah, we call him should be dead Ned.
No, he's a perfect normal person.
Soon to be dead
Who
Ned.
deserves life.
And then he will be dead Ned.
Yeah, probably dead
Everything will
Ned.
even out. Alright, well, let's get you back home.
Yep, I said we water.
Alright, might as well gather whatever we got.
Let's return the lady. And Ned and the
She must be excited when she sees the dog.
Oh, yeah, she's thrilled. The dog, like, licks her face. Once the dog cleans off all the muck from being down in the hag caves, she's actually a quite pretty young lady.
Good.
She looked rather hideous with all her hair cut off and covered in hag filth. But, so,
Like Natalie Portman at the end of People That You Know if only you're on.
yep, pretty much. Except for she's a redhead.
Look at Blue. Well, that's disgusting.
I'm just happy for her being alive. My heart is so good. So
I'm just happy we got her out.
we did.
Innocent is not dead.
Yeah, apparently.
Alright.
Why not, really?
What?
Nugget, make it out of the mud.
Of course Nugget made it out. Nugget was leading the nose and my side. Nugget actually.
Like an only a small one.
So, what did you do with that
bag.
Okay, it's in your bag of
I'll
holding.
cover some.
Okay.
I'll buy it off.
I think we'll have to check all these items out before I go doling any of them out anywhere.
Let me guess, your friend and see.
I think he might be a perfect person to look at them. Yeah.
Identify anything about that staff that controls the hag?
I don't know.
Or maybe what the mud is?
Oh yeah, he's a ritual caster. In addition to being a druid, he can identify all that stuff for you if you wait long
Well
enough.
then,
Let's take a break
Timber,
here.
can you identify
we
the
can either
sand?
ask him or we can ask certain someone and see. Either one.
You know, Timber gave me a magical chicken, so I'm
Give you a magic for that is true. We could get a better price for my friend and see.
Alright,
Figure out what it all is.
so you ask him to identify the sand? So he starts with the sand, which he identifies and then has a confused look on his face. He basically made his wisdom check. So he says, this sand is cursed. When you cast Identify, it registers as dust of disappearance, but it's actually dust of sneezing and coughing. He says, you throw this in the air, everybody around, including yourself, can't breathe.
Throw it in the room and shut the
What
door.
about the mud?
So he sits with the mud for about 10 minutes as he identifies it. He's in that little part of the room where you put your chicken, that little stone circle, and then he puts the mud in the center of the circle, and he sits on the edge and he meditates on it for a few minutes. And he says, "Well, that's odd."
This is a regular jar of mud.
He goes, it registers as protection magic. He says, I would put my hand in it. I would. I have a theory. I think it's a good idea.
I will do it.
I listened to it. It's my jar of mud, savage.
All right, you stick your hand in it.
Putting a hand in the bag.
All right, you plunge your hand into this big jar of mud, and as you pull it out, like the mud kind of like sticks to your hand like a big clump, and slowly it kind of drips down your arm onto your other hand. And in a few seconds,
You're getting eaten by the mud.
in a few seconds, it dries around your hands and your wrists and your forearms, and once it dries, it looks like sleek black gloves.
I'm like, okay.
And as you start to attune to the magical gloves, you realize they are gloves of missile snaring.
No more magic missile.
So essentially, let me tell you exactly what this does. Oh, my if you Google search, because you're online, if you Google search 5E gloves of missile snaring, you can click on the D&D Beyond link, and you can just cut and paste it into your document. Essentially, while you are wearing them, you can use your reaction to reduce the damage of any ranged weapon attack by 1d10 plus your dex modifier. And if you roll more than the damage, then you catch whatever the missile is. So like if somebody shoots a crossbow bolt at you and they do 8 damage and you roll 8 or higher on your d10 plus dex, you just snatch the crossbow bolt out of the air and let it hit you.
Is that mud gone now?
Yeah, the mud's gone.
Okay. Can I take the gloves off and give them to someone else if I choose to? And use their magical properties once they're off?
No, they would just turn back into mud. But then someone could put them on.
Okay.
Well, you have to attune to them.
Is he identified out, or does he still want to keep going?
Oh, it's a ritual spell, so he can
Take the cane out, and I might as well show him the pipe after too.
All right, so he when you pull the cane out, the young woman, Helena, she goes, "That belongs to Lord Kavanaugh. He gave it to the hags to take me off his hands."
I knew he wasn't a good guy.
So Timberak sits down on his ritual ring and studies the cane, and then he kind of comes out of his magic trance after 10 minutes, and he swings the cane around, and it turns into a rapier.
That's pretty cool. Is it like a normal rapier, or is it a magic one?
It's a magic rapier.
So it's a cane though, and then you swing it, it becomes a rapier.
Yeah, it magically turns into a rapier.
That's pretty cool. Nobody will ever expect this.
Is there any significant properties to the rapier?
It's just magical. It's not like plus anything. It's just magic. But it counts as a magic weapon for like
Hitting stuff.
yeah, things that have resistance to non-magic weapons.
That's pretty cool. What about the tobacco pipe?
He meditates on that for a while, and he basically explains to you that once you light the pipe, then you can use it to cast certain magic spells. Basically, when it burns tobacco, the smoke it comes out in different colors. It's like rainbow smoke.
That's pretty cool.
And let's see. Where'd he go? There it is. It basically has 4 charges. And once you attune to it, you automatically know the minor illusion spell. But you can only cast it when the pipe is lit. So basically, you turn the colored smoke into an illusion. You can use 1 charge to cast either color spray or silent image.
What is it? Silent image or what?
Color spray. And you can use 2 charges to cast calm motion. And each morning it regains 1d4 charges.
Okay.
It regains, each day it regains 1d4 plus 2.
Summon an army of rats.
The flute has 3 charges, and each charge summons a swarm of rats. And each time you summon them, you have to beat their wisdom check with a charisma check in order for them to obey you. So if they don't like your song, they'll attack you.
Now we're a great pair. You can play your little tune, and I can smoke my pipe. And if they don't like you, I'll just cast calm emotions. It'll be fine. I'll pass the peace pipe around. It'll be great.
Is that everything?
Yeah.
Okay, I think so.
That was my item.
Yep.
Awesome.
I'm gonna go collect the hang from now
From the deer corn.
I'm in a very lucrative business.
You want to ask him about that cane? The one that you got.
Oh, yeah, that was what I was originally going to ask.
Oh yeah, the stick.
Oh, the stick?
Yeah, that was what I was originally asking about.
He hands it to you, and after he studies it, and when he puts it in your hand, it just disappears. And you now know the shillelagh can work.
What was that all about?
Who had the hag stick though?
I picked it up and gave it. That was the hag.
That was the hag stick. S. Lele. S.H. Lele.
It's a weird one.
It's Gaelic, that's why it's so difficult.
Yeah. S-H-I-L-L-E-L-A-G-H.
Oh my god, I spelled that so wrong.
Yeah.
Is that something he did, or was that a property of the staff?
That was the property of the staff. So essentially, you can pick up any stick or club and turn it into a magic weapon.
Okay.
Alright.
Thanks for identifying everything for us, dude guy. See ya.
He says, well, thanks for killing some hags.
Yeah. You know what? You kind of grown on me. Here, have an apple. And I'll give him one of the apples from my bag.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
It smells delicious.
It's good for you, too. It'll keep all manner of doctors away.
I'll save it for when I need it.
Oh, that's probably a good idea. I'm glad you appreciate it. Some people around these parts just don't know what to do when somebody offers them something this great.
How many magic apples is that bowl creating a day?
I don't remember. I just know it made a lot, and I won't ever use it.
Was it
In a day. The bag's probably busting with apples right now.
What? Do they stay around?
No, they only last a day.
I was about to say, I was like,
We
man.
just gonna wake up tomorrow and not have an apple.
Yeah.
But keep it in your refrigerator, maybe. They go bad quick.
I'm sure he's a druid. He knows what good berry is.
Yeah, but this is a big one. You don't see a big one that often.
It's a great berry. It looks like an apple.
Cool.
Big soft apple.
So we taking the gnomes back to the brewery? You're chaining gnomes?
Drop the
Yeah,
daughter off on the
Are they
way.
still holding hands?
The daughter's down below the brewery.
They stop holding hands, they're getting left behind. They stay in the forest.
Alright, so you head to the farm or to the brewery?
Well, it's the brewery first, right? Then the farm below it?
Yeah, I think the brewery was at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Alright.
Turn to gnomes. Look what we found.
As you guys approach the brewery, there's several gnomes that come running out to you from the farm because they see this group of gnomes. And as various different members of the gnome community at the brewery and the farm, as they approach, they each recognize one of the gnomes that you brought with you, and they're like, they're lost family members. They're giving hugs. They're all happy to see each other. It's been like 7 years. So that's how long they've been imprisoned by the hags.
Don't take candy from strangers.
And you see the leader of the gnome community, the one that showed you gave you the tour of the lighthouse. I totally forget his name at this point.
Hold on.
Was he in the notes that got lost or what?
He's probably in the notes that got lost. Wait, the tour of the lighthouse or the tour of the windmill?
The windmill, I mean, yeah.
The Dumbledore. Melvin of the Mill. He's the gnome who runs the mill.
Melvin.
Melvin Dumblebriar, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So Melvin comes out and he's happy to see you and he thanks you for freeing his gnome friends. And he says, well, as I promised, you can drink for free.
That we shall.
Chuck
As
is
soon
very.
as we return this poor woman to her family.
No, Chuck just takes off.
Okay, well, except for that guy.
We'll come back for him later.
Ned goes with Chuck.
Yep.
We'll come back for both.
Yeah, what did he get here? Oh, I can't believe I let him slip through my fingers.
Get used to it.
Ned was at the druid's house, remember? With the dog.
Yeah, so anytime these gnomes want to hang out, I make sure that we exchange all the social media, all the contact info. You guys are my friends now. We're adventurers. You can join us anytime.
Social media that exists on Twitter and
Yes.
Just run young D&D League.
Friendster.
when you have to use Skyrim or Magic Mountain.
And I expect them to have chickens that are also messenger birds, even if it takes a really long time, because now I have a magical chicken, so like everyone else needs that. Yeah.
Skyrim is sad.
He's right, in his sack.
So you're gonna go, Chuck's gonna go drinking and we'll go return the daughter?
Chuck's gone.
Unless she's gonna come drinking too.
Chuck's
That probably would be good.
So you head to the farm
To see Rickus.
to see Mr. Rickus.
I'm very proudly watching.
They're still in lion shape.
I'm still. Can I still be in my shirt?
I think it lasts an hour.
Yeah.
We'll say this all took an hour.
Well, we were sitting around for 50 minutes identifying stuff.
That's true. Yeah.
Am I no longer a lion?
You're more of another wild shape.
I want to be a horse.
Do you get your wild shape back after a short rest?
Hell.
Long rest.
Well, then I do. I'm a cat.
You're a tobacco. All right, so you guys are like maybe only halfway to the farm from the brewery when Blue just takes off running towards the farm.
That might not be a good thing.
And then
On the rats again.
you're gonna call her rats again. If you're out of charges, you use 3 charges.
The dog is left. Quick, rats.
So the dog goes running towards the farm. His tail's wagging. He looks happy. Yeah. And so the dog beats you to the farm, and of course, shortly after you see the dog run onto the farm, Rickus and his other daughter come running out towards you. And they're very excited to see their daughter and sister.
We did it.
Yeah, okay. I just wait and let them have like their reunion. I finally stand to the side because I like sort of feel bad for yelling at her earlier.
Sort of.
Just sort of.
Only a little bit. I mean, I wanted to make sure she was like brainwashed or a drag. I had my reasons, but I still don't.
Well, there's hugs and tears and, you know, a lot of stroking of her head as they like kind of realize she has no hair.
Yeah, that's a thing. It'll grow back.
Yeah, so you can be in horse shape.
No, I don't want to be a horse. I want to get that like praise and approval that I need because I did do the most to make sure that she was safe. So I'm back to my tabaxi so I can be like, look at all that like praise.
Well, she brings her little sister over and introduces her little sister to you, and her little sister asks if she can pet your ears.
And then I like point out and I say this new furry friend of ours was the only reason your daughter made it back alive.
Not furry. I'm a
I slept with all the puppies. Like I slept with them all in the barn when we were sleeping. I did. I very much knew I wanted a puppy. I started with the chicken. I bought the chicken. But then
I say no, when we came back, he didn't say anything to your dog.
he did. Oh, he did.
What did he promise? Did he promise us money?
He promised us.
No, this is for free. Karma. I know. You're offended, right?
I can't believe you guys.
This is a goodwill.
We're gone for like 10 minutes, and the party's completely changed.
All the cool stuff you got.
Yeah, but that was like, that was a bonus.
But yeah, so Rickus gives you a puppy.
Okay. Oh my god, I'm gonna have all the animals.
Not a big fan.
So
Alright, wait, is your character actually?
I mean, in character and out of character, not a big fan of dogs. Literally and figuratively.
the puppies range from like a light blue to a dark blue, and there's a couple of them that are kind of, I mean, not blue, gray. And there are a couple of them that are like the dog blue, who are kind of that steely, like gray blue color.
I'm gonna take one that's that color. I'm gonna name it Cactus.
Nice. So you have a hound dog puppy.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna put Nugget.
Oh, that's right.
And so I lost
You have to take a long rest.
The grown pregnant woman
How many
had
hit
like
points?
7.
Yeah. How many hit points does a puppy have?
Having one.
Oh, good.
Well, same with the chicken. The chicken only has one hit
But the
point.
chicken comes back.
True.
So the first, I'm like, all right, I gotta figure this out. How long is it gonna take me to train this dog? The first thing I'm gonna do is teach him to stay.
Get like a baby viewer. Yeah, for the puppy.
Little cat, you get a little dog back.
Yes.
You already know he sells one of those specialty items. I say we go see him right now.
I bet you maybe your guy in Seton would make this dog a familiar toy. You might have to make a deal.
No, I'll just, if I want to do anything, I'm just gonna go back to the super. Like, hey man.
He's so out of the way though.
Let me
it's
just
so
take advantage of you
inconvenient.
again.
He's really not. He's really not.
It's
No.
all the way in the woods. We're at Seton like all the time. So much
No,
more
wait, but
convenient.
there's, no, I'm not.
All the time.
That's more than we can say for most places.
All I want to know is where is he?
What now?
He's coming with us to Seton. That's where he's
Well, he of
back in the
course,
bar with Chuck, of
he of
course.
course will invite you in and offer you dinner. Rickus.
Do you have any pies?
Does he have any pies?
Yes.
He says, I don't know how to make pie.
What's for dinner at Regis'? Chicken?
What's he offering for dinner?
What's for dinner at Regis'? Chicken?
Yeah, I mean that's what Rickus does. Is he raises chickens.
Actually, yeah, it's fine.
So he's got some nice chicken and bean stew.
I think Nugget a little bit.
What's that?
I think Nugget's a chicken.
No, you're not feeding Nugget any chicken. No, you're not.
Yeah.
She's my chicken.
Right.
You're not feeding her
Carnivorous,
chicken.
they can
No,
get it.
no, I will roll for this. No.
Okay, sleight of hand it
I
up.
will help this man.
Alright.
I'm gonna blow some multicolored smoke and obscure your vision.
Nugget eats
Well,
the chicken.
Nugget ate some chicken. Nugget is now a cannibal.
He's stronger than the others. He didn't die.
I look at Nugget and I say, I hope the fan you is enjoying that. Poor Nugget.
Chicken eating.
She doesn't deserve this.
Chicken. I like it.
She deserves so much better.
You are what you eat.
No.
There was, I think it was 2 years ago at Cucalores in the horror short films. There was an animated short called The Chickening, which is like a spoof of The Shining, made with like stop motion and a rubber chicken. It was really weird.
That is,
It was a really,
I don't know how I feel about that.
it was a very bizarre short film.
If I've watched The Shining,
Now we go back to Seton. What?
Alright, so now we go party.
I feel like people want to go to see.
Let's go to Seton.
You're not going to go back to the brewery and get your drink on?
We could drink and we could go to sleep in the morning.
I would like to take a long rest so I can get my hit points.
I wouldn't mind having dinner as long rest.
Alright, so you have dinner at Rick's house?
So you can get your what?
I lost like my hit points.
That's right, you
I
were
got
to reduce
hurt.
because you didn't take it. I remember now.
Yeah, because I couldn't take my.
Dinner and a long rest to heal sounds nice. Dinner at Rickus's and then after party at the tavern with unlimited free beer.
I want to call it like a fire.
Chuck's like leaving Congo running around the water.
Can I go visit Timber while they're doing that and see if we can help me with my new dog?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but how many familiar?
Well, that's the thing. I'm not necessarily looking for familiar. I'm just looking for like something to see if we can help me out. Like, because I don't have animal handling.
Well, they're eating dinner and everything after that. I'm gonna go behind the house and I'm gonna look at the books.
Yeah.
The books?
But my thought is like I want to train him. So
Pro feeding us.
get what would it be?
Well, you have the ledger, right?
Yeah.
Um,
One about the night.
the other ones are all just stories. But you figure out that the stories were consistent with the magical effects in those rooms, right? There was the book about the long night, and that was in the room with the vampire that can cast darkness.
That's useful now.
And then there was the what was the other one? Oh, the book about Miss Muffet.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that was in the room that turned the dragonborn into a spider.
what about the ledger?
The ledger, now that you know about hags giving gifts to each other, that's exactly what this is. It just tracks, like, which gifts have been given to which hags.
Kind of like discern if anyone has a lot of them.
Yeah, the one that's labeled Granny, yeah, she has the most gifts.
They're like a location. Let's put down the ledger. Can I rule?
You can make an Arcana check.
He snuck off by himself.
Just kidding.
Behind the tavern.
The book itself is magical.
Oh my bad, it's actually a 15.
Okay. Well, the book is magical. You discern after studying it, and you're pretty sure that if there's multiple copies of this book, so like if you write in it, whatever you write in it shows up in the other books.
Oh, right, we're coming for you.
Yeah.
See what happens.
That's very tactful. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just right in the book. We're coming for your taxes.
Since they're exactly the same, sort of cast locate object on the book if I find what the other ones are.
Possibly.
Be close enough.
What's the range on locate object?
1,000 feet.
Okay. But yeah, you think since these books are connected, if you cast locate object on this book, you'll know the location of any book that's within 1,000 feet of this book. Alright. And you head off to Timber's house. Well, he explains to you that he can turn your puppy into a familiar too. So whenever you cast Find Familiar, it can either be a puppy or a chicken.
Wait, okay. So if he does this, will my puppy stay a puppy forever?
Yeah.
I'm the dog chapter.
But after the puppy dies one time, she can either has only the puppy or the chicken.
What's that?
After the puppy dies, you only have the puppy or the chicken.
Right. At one time.
At one time.
The familiar, the spell describes it. Your familiar kind of hangs out in like a pocket universe until you need them.
So like,
So they're kind of like in a magical sleep somewhere off.
yeah, they're gonna catch him all. Oh my god.
And look, there's like 800.
Right? Okay,
unless it is pretty stealthy, and I don't know how stealthy the dog's gonna be.
Kind of a loner.
Dogs don't have dark vision.
And that's also kind of a big negative for me.
Either way, you couldn't see.
I'm kind of all about the dark vision.
Alright, I want to put this to the group. What do you guys think? Should I do it familiar or should I just let him grow up and see what happens?
If you just want him to grow up, I can take him along with me during the day, perhaps, and he could sleep somewhere at night when he hinders me.
Make grow it up, become a dog, make dog familiar.
Okay.
Dog familiar.
Okay. Okay. What are your thoughts?
I mean, what's that? Oh, I was saying, once it's full grown, once it's full grown, it'll be a medium-sized creature. And a small creature can ride a medium-sized creature.
Okay. Yes, we're gonna do that. So then I say to Timber, well, actually, see, here's the thing. I would really like it for this dog to grow up, and then maybe it could be a familiar. But I was wondering if you might be able to help me, like, expedite that process, or perhaps maybe just help me be better at taming and training him, because I really never handled a lot of animals, if you know what I'm saying. So I want to be a good owner to this dog. And I named it after a Goliath like you.
Does he say? You remind me of somebody who made a deal with the devil.
Giving off that kind of vibe.
He says, well, I don't know such magic, but you're a sorcerer, right?
Yeah.
I've heard tell that sorcerers can make things get bigger or larger with a spell.
You know, the sorcerer that we know is a really great guy, really knows his magic.
There wouldn't be anyone to see it, would there?
I think that's the only person I might know besides from you who's a sorcerer.
So, well, then I guess I'm going to have to do this the old-fashioned way and just make sure he grows up, doesn't die, and then I'll come back and see you when he's bigger. How's that sound?
That's foreshadowing.
Seaton's the city.
Like, we're ready to see that.
You're going to love
You
seeing it.
almost had it.
So you catch up to them at the end and take a long rest?
Yeah.
Alright, so everybody levels up.
Yeah.
Which at this point, I mean, you can pick new spells. So if you want to pick enlarge, reduce,
Would that actually age the dog and make him?
it wouldn't age the dog, but it would take the puppy and make it the size of a grown dog.
Okay.
So if you're familiar with Stuart, you can still do it.
Lockjaw from the Inhuman. Because enlarge, reduce is a second level spell.
Spoilers, I never believe
Now my plan will come together.
So you guys don't have fun with it.
Yeah, well, we probably won't get to the ship tonight, but if you guys want to do Seaton and then we can wrap up, that way we wrap
I
up.
definitely want to go to Seaton.
I want to make a deal to get Gash's horse.
You want to make it serious?
I want to get Gash's
Oh
horse.
God, no!
I have one thing I want to do.
Is Gaseous Form a third level spell? It is a third level spell.
I want it so bad.
Well, and you're not you're a druid.
I get it at fifth level.
Yeah, you get third level spell slots, but it's not a druid spell. Yeah, it's a sorcerer, warlock, or wizard spell.
You were doomed from the start.
I guess I'll have to get
You have to make a deal with some sort of
I
powerful
guess I
being.
have to make a deal to get Gash's horse to do the one thing I want to do.
Sounds like you're gonna be right at home. I'm gonna get such a good bonus for this.
I have
All right, so you drink your fill and you take your long rest at the end. Is there anything else you're going to do in these parts before you head to Seton?
Not for me. I'm gonna be happily leading the way down the road.
All right, so you march down the road and you come upon Seton. And are you headed to the magic shop or are you headed to the bar, the Lazy Narwhal?
I'm headed to the bar. Not the bar. I'm headed to the magic shop. I was thinking about the bar and I was like, what bar? I don't want to go to the bar. I want to head to the magic shop. Well, you gotta come in. We're going to the magic shop. Well, you have to meet my friend.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back to the magic shop and just see what's happening. Yeah.
All right, so you get to the magic shop, and of course, outside there's a group of tiefling children who have
Murdered somebody.
no, they've actually made a sculpture of Skyfist out of like wood and clay. They kind of like sculpted this tall, bald, Goliath-looking. It's almost life-size. It's about 5 feet tall.
Always be here in our hearts. And also in those hand axes that you gave to those children that one time.
Well, that's what they carved the wood with, was the hand axes.
All of their hands.
So, do you stop and talk to the kids, or you head inside?
Hey kids, I'm here to see your parents.
Oh, hey, mister.
Hey, you remember me? I know you remember me.
Yeah, you're the guy with the big hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, keep this a secret. I'll take off my hat to reveal the smaller metal hat underneath.
You have 2 hats.
Oh, don't tell anyone.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm growing my collection, and I'll put it back on. I'll head inside. I'll be like over my shoulder. Don't cut your hands off. That wouldn't be good.
No, don't you like the statue we made with our axes?
It's a good one. It's a good one. But if you hurt yourself, your mom might take them away, and you wouldn't be able to make any more. So
Yeah, that's what Mom said. Yeah.
just be careful with them.
We stuck the pieces of wood together with snot and mud.
Those are the best materials. Nobody will want to knock it down now.
Sal just hugged it.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. I'm loving it. I'm like, it smells just like it.
Oh, he's right inside.
Perfect.
Yeah. He's real great. You're gonna love it. Yeah, probably. If there's anything you want, anyway.
All right, so you guys stroll into the shop,
Yeah.
and of course it's there's the counter with a few trinkets on it, and the female tiefling is in the exact same spot you left her. She's just lounging on the couch, looking very cozy. This time around, she has a tray of just like cheese and fruit, and she's just kind of snacking.
I have a deal for you. Is this your friend? Many more.
No, that's his
I
wife.
have many more vials of hag liquid today with me.
She says, "Oh, you do." I could. That first vial of hag liquid, it served me quite well in my laboratory.
How much would you be willing to pay for one vial?
Oh, I would pay the same that I paid last time.
What did you pay last?
Those would be the lost.
I think it was 10 gold pieces, but it was in the lost note, so I'm not sure exactly.
Well, you get to decide right now. Let's find out.
How many vials do you have?
Many. Many.
I want to know, where did the plate go this whole time?
We said after his feather fall ran out, we'd shove it in my bag a little bit.
Yeah, and we put all the goo on top of it so it froze. We put it in a bag.
You know, there were a whole bunch of wine bottles filled with blood. You could have just emptied those and poured the hagger
Oh yeah, I
into the wine
collected the wine
bottle.
from the deer in my vials that I have left.
Okay.
Alright, so she'll give you 10 gold pieces for each vial of goo.
How many vials could one get from 4 hags?
medicine check to see how efficiently you collected the
She
goo.
was helping me because I gave her the staff.
I did.
Yeah.
The 24.
The 24?
No, 22.
22. What's your medicine skill at? Nice. Yeah, so you, so half 24 is 12. So you got 12 bottles of hag goo,
I'm gonna try to
or
haggle
like
up.
vials. Yeah.
Try to haggle up a little bit. We went through a lot of effort and we're selling you in bulk.
She says, I tell you what, I'll pay you extra if you come down to my laboratory and see my experiments.
Okay, money is money.
This is going great for me. I'm happy.
But how much more gold? 15 gold.
She'll throw in an extra 20 gold if you come down and experience the experiment with her.
I don't like where it's going, but I'm gonna take that gold.
All right, so that's like a what? That's 135 gold. Or no, 150 gold. Right? No, 140. My bad, I can't math.
I have so much gold now.
But you're about to die.
Well, all my gold will protect me.
Oh, you're cold.
It's like chainmail.
Before they head down to the
I'm almost
basement,
touching gold.
wherever they're going then, I'll ask her, hey, is your husband around?
This is a handful
She
of dice.
seems
about
very,
to roll.
very excited to show him the experiments, and she just kind of like waves her hand over and says, "Hey, he'll be right out."
Oh, okay, that's great.
And she pulls back a curtain and leads you down a hallway to a staircase.
Oh boy.
See you later, bye.
Sounds like,
Yeah.
sounds like a lot of dice.
You got 21 charisma now. It's all good.
How many hit points do you have?
27.
Oh, you're asleep.
Gosh darn her. Witch magic.
It'll probably be a while. I'm gonna go sit on the couch that she was sitting on and start eating the cheese and crackers and stuff that she has on her platter.
They're really quite good. They're top quality cheese and very fresh fruit.
I'd expect nothing less. They spare no expense for their guests.
Comfortable.
Oh, yeah, we've been here one time. Yeah, the owner really likes me.
All right. Well, it's not much longer that your friend, the other tiefling, he strolls out, looking very dapper in his latest purple tapestry vest and his sleek black pants and a black dress shirt under his vest.
Lots of black, huh? I'll be like, oh, you look great. What an outfit you're sporting today.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, Mr. Hat Friend.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back.
Excellent.
I told you I'd be back. We've got even more goods for you to peruse today.
Fantastic. Did you? Oh, and you brought the others. Your other friend.
I brought lots of friends with me today. As you can see, my cat friend, my blue friend.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
So, what do I do now?
Boy, this is a friendly visit. I don't even know what you're talking about.
He understands. He knows, and I just give him this look that says, like, I want more power. I like the taste that I got.
You don't live fast.
Sal likes burning coffins with velvet inside of them, okay?
He goes, I just came back from my favorite vacation spot, and I came back with a device I'm sure
We don't know that.
I know.
I have a device that I'm sure you will love.
Okay, go on.
He says, it's called a Mizium apparatus.
Tell me more. What does it do?
He leans over and kind of whispers into your ear. You can cast almost any spell you want with it.
And
That sounds pretty fancy.
what is the cost of such an item and such power?
He says, well, sometimes goes out of control.
Out of control how?
I mean, it'll still cast a spell. I mean, it never wastes a spell.
So out of control, like wild magic in a sense.
Kinda, but not quite so crazy.
Okay, what kind of crazy are we talking? Like it's gonna eat me?
No, you point it at whatever you're gonna cast it on, and it's gonna cast it on that target.
And then,
I mean, you could.
and then, what's the crazy? Give me an example.
Well, it's up to you. Like, you concentrate, and if you can summon the spell that you want to summon, it'll cast it. And, you know, if you don't focus just right, you might cast a different spell.
So you're saying I need focus. Would that be a wisdom kind of focus? Need to be wise enough? Or would you say that there are other ways? Because I'm very charismatic.
He says, well, it's really about your knowledge of the arcane.
Well,
You're the best person I know with that stuff, Sal.
yeah, I'm pretty good at it, right?
I don't know anyone who's better.
All right, this sounds great. I love this idea. I am going.
Is this what happened last time when I let you come here?
Listen, you didn't let anything happen.
Should have got some fire magic last time.
I have seen lives with the power this man has given me, and I intend to continue to do so. How would you like to strike our next target?
He says, well, come on back, and you just sign your name, you know, and it's yours until you want to bring it back.
Sign my name.
Oh, come on, I'll show you.
Look interested.
You know, like, I'll sign my name.
I'll say I don't know how to spell my name, I will sign it.
No. Look at you. I say nobody signs anything until I sign something.
I don't know how to read, I will sign it. I don't know signing it.
Why don't you take my holy symbol in the back with you?
I say to him, listen, I have some gems that are very special, and I also have some other things to trade. I'm not really looking to sign anything just yet.
Well, come in then.
Tristan, you want to go for a walk?
No metagaming. Why don't you take my holy symbol with you? In case you need it. No metagaming, remember.
Yeah, I take the holy symbol with me.
Put it around your
And I
neck.
say, what could possibly go wrong? This feels great.
You put the holy symbol around your neck?
Yeah.
Alright. The holy symbol feels a little warm on your chest when you walk into the temple.
Okay.
Remember, it's like this dark room with an altar at the end. Is its backseat following along?
As you hear me say, if it feels weird at all, you should probably leave.
Okay.
It just feels warm.
Yeah.
The warmth feels good.
Oh, it feels warm. I feel like I'm making the right choice.
He just rolls out this scroll and says, you're just checking out the item, right? You sign for it, and then you can bring it back whenever you like.
Has anything happened to that little holy symbol as I'm leaning over the...
Oh, it feels even warmer.
Do I feel strange? Do I feel uncomfortable?
I thought you were going to say the little thing, you know,
Yeah, make a religion check.
You're enjoying the cheese and crackers. We didn't go back there with them.
You've been shoplifted.
21.
Tristan,
Oh yeah, you're convinced this place is evil.
Yeah, I walk back there.
Did we go back there?
all I
I
have
thought
to
it was
do
a
is sign
private
piece of
deal
paper
here.
and I get all of this magic. I mean, what's the possibility?
What's this guy's name?
We actually don't know.
We don't know his name.
It's fallow, I think, if I remember right.
Hello. I kind of studied something about this. In case you didn't know, I'm a cleric.
He goes, "Huh,
Yeah, this kind of looks like she wants to sign her soul away.
well, Well, that's strong verbiage. I mean, you're welcome to read the contract. Huh? Are you ready to just sign it?
Yeah, is there ink on the table?
I don't think Druid's.
That's like Maddie through his hair. It's like, no more soul.
I want this
What is a soul?
Just prick your finger.
No, I wanted to
Tell your soul.
What you read about that, like, you like now?
Yeah.
He goes, well, the blue guy talks to your friend.
Here,
What is
take
that
your
thing?
reservation.
But if I temporarily better,
And that is
maybe it's worth
gaseous form. It's a relatively simple spell.
Sounds like she's getting the perfect magic item for you.
Tristan, my friend.
I would not, but I'm a man of religion.
I don't want her to have it. I want it.
We're into men.
Well,
Just men.
This place creeps me out.
He kind of sizes you up and says, I don't think your magic is quite powerful for you to
I
cast that
can,
on your own
but
yet.
I'd rather listen to my friend.
So you're saying you want me to grant you additional
Give up your
power?
soul, I get a lot more.
Alright, I'm gonna have to continue this.
I gotta leave my closet.
Faith shifted.
You say a word for one thing and one thing only. Gaseous form.
He goes, well, let me write him a contract.
So ready. So ready to sign my name, which I don't know how to spell.
He walks over to the altar, and there's a little kind of hidden drawer under the altar that he pulls out with a scroll and some ink and a quill, and he just starts writing. And he's amazingly fast, almost supernaturally fast at writing this contract out.
I'm gonna have to be continued on mine. But, yeah, think about it. Samuel is hesitant.
I would bargain for more.
Nobody's shopping the
Sal's
tobacco.
not even giving anything
We're getting
away.
one spell.
Just,
Your soul away, man. What are you getting out of this deal?
can you get out?
Thank you.
It's one of those referral deals, you know?
No, that's a good question.
It's one of those referral things, you know? Amazon, you don't pay anything extra. I just get a little.
Should I take it this time?
Oh, I
Yeah.
paid them. They're ready to pay. So you paid them with whatever. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna be out of town, but if I can do it before next week.
Angie, just so you know, it's essentially there's a chart of spells.
Yeah.
So you roll an Arcana check to cast the spell you want to cast.
Yeah.
You can cast any wizard spell.
Okay.
If you make the Arcana check, you cast the spell you want. If you don't, then you roll on the list to see which spell you cast instead.
So you can cast Wish.
Well, it has to be a level that she knows.
Oh, well, I would bargain. That's not worth your soul. I'd bargain above
She
that.
already signed
Well,
something like this
I was thinking of
before.
a
It's not her
feat
soul.
for some other stuff, so I'm gonna get my character properly leveled, and then next week I can make this decision.
Alright.
I'll let you know when I come in next week. I'll be ready. Alright, bye everybody. See you next week.
Have a good one. So he's like supernaturally fast at writing out this contract. But I mean, you don't know how to write, so you don't really
I don't know
know.
how to read.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'm from, I live in like the woods, so I'm
She can't sign her signature, then can't she even sign her?
She can make her mark.
I have a copy.
so he writes it all out, and he says, I'll throw in a couple of other spells that kind of fit with the whole theme.
See, he's such a great guy. I can't believe you're doubting him. Look at how generous he is.
Has got to be chloroform in the basement.
That's the wife.
That's
we
the
don't know
wife,
anything
that's
about that.
Very upstanding.
So he completes the contract, and he starts to hand you the quill
I look at it and I'm just bat it a little.
with your paw.
Yeah, has a feather, right? I bat it.
He goes, no, here, just put your paw out like that. And then he dips the quill in the ink and just kind of splashes it all over your hand.
There you go. And then I do one of the.
You gotta sign this one way or the other.
Yeah, I totally forgot my what.
I very weirdly and smudge a little.
Kind of smudge this black paw print on the bottom of the scroll.
And then I kind of look at my hand and it's like, aw.
I'm surprised you don't have to sign your own blood in this place.
Now, as you pull your hand away, the ink kind of floats up into like this gaseous cloud, and then it kind of swirls around, and you know you're a cat, so you sniff a little bit, and it just like goes right up your nose, and you feel the power into your body. You can now cast gaseous form once per short rest, and I'm going to look up a couple of druid spells that kind of fit that.
What's going on in this place?
I made her wishes
They
come
got me
true.
in the basement, bro.
I'm so excited.
If it's safe, don't trust me.
I'm gonna be a little teary-eyed in the corner, like, oh, see, he makes dreams come true. He's such a great guy.
I feel like this place is Ned's fault.
Yeah, Ned's the one that got us involved with
So you
this.
can cast first and second level spells, right?
I blame 100% on that if both my kidneys are gone.
Do you already know Fog Cloud? Okay, add that to
My
your
kidneys are
spells.
gone. He almost needs restitution.
It's a first level druid spell.
Ned's here. Ned's here with us.
And then
Ned's here with us.
Fog Cloud.
I shall take his kidneys.
And then for second level spells,
That was part of the thing. He had to bring that here.
do you want Blur or Dust Devil?
Get that out as soon as possible.
Dust Devil's like an
Just has
attack
to see
spell.
Ned. It's fine.
Oh yeah, just has to see that.
It like does a little bit of damage and pushes people around.
The basement thing, that's his fault for dealing with the
Blur's
wife.
like a defensive
Everybody knows
spell.
you gotta deal with the husband.
Whoa.
Otherwise, you get taken to the basement for
Close
experiments.
minded,
So all those fit that kind of gaseous
Like
cloud
18
kind
BC.
of.
Like communism.
Do his eyes light up when he sees Ned?
I don't know if you've seen it.
Ned's here.
We all came together.
And that's right next to me.
You guys, well, thank you so much for bringing friends here. So that crossbow you wanted.
Yeah.
He goes, I have it.
Okay, cool. We want to talk about it in a back room somewhere or something?
He goes, sure.
Okay. Oh yeah. That friend there, that's Ned friend. Yeah.
He kind of sizes him up. He goes, I don't think Ned has what it takes.
Yeah, probably not.
He seems a little dull.
I kind of look over pityingly, and like, that saved him though.
The halfling, on the other hand, I bet he would make a good deal.
You hear that? You're in now. You can save Ned and get something good for you too.
Ned is safe right here.
It's gonna make you
For
the
now.
opium type of peace.
Who knows what could happen later?
Do you think the Dragonborn would make a deal?
You could offer him a big club. That could probably be a deal.
The opium type of peace, you have to be careful.
All right. You're not interested?
I've been sitting here and it's been like being at my grandmother's place while they talk with you.
Chuck wants a goblet of everlasting ale.
Your poor 8 intelligence just can't handle all this talking.
Smoke's just rising up.
So he kind of leads you behind the altar. And he says, that cat friend of yours is fantastic. She signed the deal just like that. I didn't even have to give her anything up front.
We found her in a cauldron in a dungeon. That could be why.
Well, she has power. She might not be that smart, but she has power. Well, as soon as one of your other friends signs a contract, I'll give you the crossbow.
I brought Ned though. That was part of it, wasn't it?
So,
Get rid of the smugglers. I distinctly remember.
Well, then you get rid of
I'm
the
pretty sure that
smugglers.
was the woman in the bar that wanted
I never talked to her. I was in the shadows the whole time.
the one he talked to.
Yeah, he talked to her about smugglers though, but then the original job for Ned was he wanted me to get rid of Ned as well.
Oh,
Fail anyway.
he wanted to get rid of the smugglers too?
Yeah, he wanted me to get rid of Ned because they were bringing weapons in and they were.
Smugglers haven't been got rid of yet.
I'm trying. He wanted me to get rid of the smugglers because they were giving weapons to the lizard men, and he thought that they would come in and like destroy Salt Marsh if they were available. And then as a bonus, he wanted me to bring them back for more deals.
So, I didn't remember it that way, but if that's what I said.
I think so.
I thought it was the woman that he made the deal with that wanted to get rid of the smuggler.
They all wanted Ned. That's where the intrigue came in. It was who's
They all wanted to get rid of the smuggler.
Yeah.
I wanted to become the smuggler. There soon enough. I want to become the smuggler. Ned can get even
All right. Well, he'll give you the crossbow because
I'll tell him. I mean, it's fine. He's with your wife actually.
Oh, the funny elf with the horn.
Yeah, that's the one.
What's your wife?
Oh, he goes, did she take him to the...
Do experiments or something. I don't know.
Yeah, her experiments.
stolen.
Those are fun.
I wouldn't know. She didn't invite me.
Probably because you're too smart for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm shaking. She gave me money. That's what I'm supposed to do.
Well, it's after 9 o'clock. I say we stop there and come back next week to find out what happens to our bar.
I'm a charismatic man. I got 21 charisma, but I probably need one.
Super cool.
Yeah.
Don't tell me the details now.
Thanks everyone that's been watching your own treat. Thank you, Senegal and Caro and
He doesn't even like that.
Thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, tune in every day of the week. We got everything for you. My voice is dying.
Tune in next week to see if Ned lives.
Yeah, please.
21 charisma.
Let's see if Ned lives. Let's see if the unicorn lives.
Bro, that kind of species.
I'm switching to a Scottish accent. The gruff accents are
The gruff piratey accents, dude.
I have no problem doing Scottish.
Thank you for watching our Dungeons & Dragons Adventurers League. Want to see more? Make sure to hit the subscribe button and bell to know the next time we post to YouTube. Join in on the fun on our live stream at twitch.tv/CapeFearGames. And check out our website, capefeargames.com, for all your gaming needs. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.